Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the C3 Friday Free for All, the show for Carolina Panthers fans by Carolina Panthers fans. I'm your host, Cody Lashley, back at you with another show that is literally your show. If you would like to join and be a part of the incredible Panther football discussion that we're going to have here today, I have pinned the link to join the Streamyard to the top of the YouTube and the Facebook chat for you to be a part of the show. As always, we appreciate you spending your Friday evenings here with the C3 Panthers Podcast, trying to kick off your weekend in the right way with the right people. You already know that we do this every Friday with the most loyal members of the C3 Legion. He's normally telling people to shut the hell up, but Pickle, I'm going to tell you to wake the hell up. What's with all that yawning over there? Up the energy levels. It's time for a free-for-all. Pickle, what's up, buddy?
Man, I tell you what it's all about. It's all about working hard. Sometimes a man got to work for a living. I know we all can't sit at home and not do nothing all day. Well, at least I can.
You better bring it to the free-for-all. I don't care what
I tell you what it is all about. You know what? If you don't like the Carolina Panthers, shut the hell up. How's that?
That's
and I
right.
tell you what, you can shut the hell up. Your mama can shut the hell up. Even your daddy can shut the hell up.
Well, damn, everybody's shutting the hell up. Well, you know what? They might tell you to shut the hell up, Pickle. But you know what? That's all right, because it's the Friday free-for-all. And it's free for all. That's why it's called that. And you know that we would never dream of continuing a free-for-all without the man himself, the brand ambassador, the one, the only, These Ill Skills. These Ill Skills. What's up, brother?
You don't have to wake me up, Cody. You know I'm ready to roll. It's Friday night, man.
Yes, sir.
And every one of these videos this week has given me more hope and more inspiration for this Carolina Panthers football team. I don't think I've ever been excited about a mini camp before for the Carolina Panthers, man. All these clips, watching these guys out there compete, talk trash to each other. Derek Brown is back. There's just so many reasons to be excited about this Carolina Panthers team, and a lot of it starts in the back and in the front office. Dan Morgan's been drafting better. Dave Canales' approach is reaching these players. It's making a difference on the field already. They're hungry. You got Adam Thielen in interviews saying that we're not going to be the same old tired Carolina Panthers. These guys are chomping at the bit to start to win. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but it's not that we're going to go to the playoffs. It's not that we're going to win the Super Bowl, but it finally feels like the building blocks for success are in the right order. We finally got something we can hang our hat on, something that we didn't have with Matt Rule, something that we didn't have with the Frank Reich debacle. Finally, this team feels like it's got some unity, it's got some spirit, and it's got some drive, Cody. And like I said, I'm ready to roll. Let's have a great free-for-all.
Let's do it, brother. You know we can't have a free-for-all without my man, Jake the Snake, back on the free-for-all. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Man, I'm doing great. Enjoying my beach vacation with the family and join everybody in here. I know, shout out C3 Legion, shout out C3 Panther Podcast, shout out to everybody in here that takes their Friday evenings and joins us and listens and chats and stuff. And I love every single one of y'all. Keep pounding. I'm looking forward to this season.
Keep pounding, brother. Next up, my man, C3 Cole, back on the free-for-all, smashing them buttons, winning them online matches. What's up, brother? How you living, bro?
I'm doing pretty good this evening, man. It's just another Friday night with the C3 family on the Free-for-All Friday. I'm just very proud and thankful to be a part of this with y'all, man. Let's have a great show.
Proud and thankful to have you, brother. And next up, we got the coldest member of the Friday Free-for-All. He's got the swag. He's got the stream set up. And you know he's got that sultry-ass Barry White voice. It's my man, Wes Justin. Wes, what's up, bro?
What's up, baby?
Hey, baby. What's up, baby?
How y'all doing today?
We good.
Doing wonderful, man. How are you?
I'm good. Just ready for some fucking football to start, man.
Yes, sir.
Over here bugging about some football. every day. I can't quit looking up Panthers videos, bro. Even though if I've already seen the shit.
Hey, brother, that means it's that time of year. We are all jonesing for the next fix of the Carolina Panthers. That's what this show is for. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live, boys. You know, Pickle, these are the shows that are for the most dedicated because we're in the dead of the off season. There ain't shit going on. These shows are for the most diehard of diehard fans, and that's who we do it for. But today, let's talk about Chuba Hubbard sounding off against one Joe Person. Now, under any other circumstance, this would normally have been David Newton. But today, it was, or yesterday rather, it was Joe Person who reported, while praising new Panthers running backs, Chuba Hubbard seemed to take a veiled shot at Miles Sanders, saying the running back room was a little off. Otherwise, Hubbard's birthday was just like any other day, running hard, drawing with J.C. Horn, hitting the dunks machine. Now, Chuba Hubbard went on to respond to him and says, I keep to myself, I do my job. Please don't put drama around me. I've been blessed to be able to share the room with some of the best. I'm also blessed to have made a bunch of lifetime friends, for real. It's all love and always have been. No fake narratives involving me. Please, appreciate it. Cole, I remember you saying that you wanted to touch on this, so I'm going to let you have the honors to start off the free-for-all. What did you make of Chuba Hubbard? Is there any fire behind this smoke, or was Joe Person being just a little bit too spicy? What's going on, bro?
I kind of feel like it's going to sound like a lazy answer, Cody, but really a little bit of both, maybe. Person could have been reaching a little bit. He probably was. I think Chuba did the right thing. He did what a good teammate would do, and you're supposed to say that the NFL players, the right ones that are trained properly, that's what they're programmed to say. So he did the right thing. Something I thought didn't think about, so you were literally talking about it right now. I'm not saying it was a subtle shot at Brooks either, but he did not contribute anything whatsoever to this offense either, and he was supposed to. So when you have that and then a non-contributing Miles Sanders, yeah, I mean, if you wanted to take the statement serious, I think you really could do that, my friend.
Miles who?
Miles Mid.
Damn.
Well, I
See,
think
that was, hey, go ahead, Bill.
I read the Athletic and I found some of the chatter was that's not being talked about here is Miles was PO'd when they benched him for Chuba.
Mm-hmm.
Miles was PO'd about it. Now Miles did the good little NFL guy and just stayed on the team, didn't raise a fuss, but it was blatantly obviously that he didn't like it. And I think that goes back. Now, Joe's an older guy, and maybe he read into it, I think. This ain't the first time Joe Persons took the irate of a Panther player or coach. I remember a time when he took the irate of, or he caught the irate of Ron Rivera and Luke Kuechly over calling the NFL, questioning why, if Ron said that Luke was fine and the concussion doctor said he could play, who was right. And
I forgot about all of that, Pickle.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's a good point, Pickle, because a lot of people forget about that just because of how many times David Newton gets mentioned in these types of situations.
Right, exactly. And David does it because ESPN pays him to. ESPN loves that drama, and that if an ESPN reporter ain't looking for a fight to start a fight, then they're not getting paid.
Yeah, David Newton has had so many. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was surprised that this wasn't David Newton and it was in fact Joe Person. But listen, I'm gonna be real. I kind of agree with a little bit of what Cole said. Like knowing how Miles Sanders was not willing to take a pay cut, he was also feeling like he still was a part of the future plans for this team. Yeah, to me, I have no problem thinking about how they were a little bit salty, or he might have been a little bit salty, especially when you consider that they drafted Jonathan Brooks in the second round. So to me, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. However, I see the adverse as well. If you're Chuba Hubbard, you don't want to make it seem like like you were taking a veiled shot at literally anyone. You know what I mean? That's not what he's trying to do and trying to
Cody, even if he was telling the damn truth. That's my biggest problem with this whole thing.
You know what?
Nobody should be getting criticized for the damn truth.
Right. Because we have a guy who comes and trails along every now and then, and he was the one screaming at everybody when we got Brooks. He's going to take Chuba's job. Chuba's trash. He's a qualified backup. Where the hell is Jonathan Brooks at now? Setting his ass on the fucking bench.
Bringing my boy
Where
Chuba
is
Hubbard a
that
water
guy
bottle.
who run his lip like that? Jimmy Baby, you's a coward. You won't showing your guts on here telling everybody that. You crawling somewhere hiding. That's what the fuck you guys is doing.
I'm about to get G-Baby come on and get on your ass.
He's already on his way.
Brooks is an overdrafted, overpaid, over-talented bum. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. I'll tell you what, though, I do think that now because of the injury to Jonathan Brooks, I really foresee a real opportunity for Trevor Etienne to make some noise this year. I really do. And the more and more I think about it, the more and more I like that pick. And due to the health and the availability, I kind of feel like Trevor Etienne probably has a brighter future in Carolina, even more so than Jonathan Brooks. Let me pass the microphone to my man, Wes Justin. What do you think about Chuba Hubbard going at it with Joe Person? Is there any smoke to this fire? Was Miles Sanders somewhat of a cancer to the running back room? How you feel, man?
I think Chuba's going to shut him up this year, honestly. Chuba's been improving year after year, and like dude's super underrated in my opinion. The fact that we got him, those two backups that we got, dude, like behind this O-line, good luck stopping the running back crew we got, bro. That's enough said about that. And has this Joe Parsons guy ever fucking played football before?
That I don't know. I don't really
a lot of these analysts like to talk shit when they really have never been on the field to like experience it. So like they really don't know what's going on out there. They just like to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
And who else was Miles Sanders? You said.
But yeah, the what Joe Person put out basically was that that the energy was maybe a little bit off in the running back room last year, and that maybe Miles Sanders was a little bit salty due to the lack of playing time, which is, to me that seems understandable that Miles Sanders was probably not the happiest of players in that room. But I don't know. Is there anything to this? Did you feel like Sanders was a bad energy in that room?
I mean, he was underused because of the fact that like every time we used him, how many yards per run did he get? I mean, he couldn't really do shit with us.
Like 2.5.
But to be honest with you, that was because of the shitty coaching regimen that we had when we first picked him up. In my opinion, I think towards the end of the year last year, he kind of started to do. He started to fill out himself and figure out the program and started fitting in. But in my opinion, bro, like it's a little too late. Like I'm just happy with what we got now. I'm ready for this year to start so we can shut all these analysts up that really don't know anything about football.
Same, man. Let me say it real quick. Thank you to my man from Newcastle, England, my man Brit Panther. What's up, Alex? Says evening C3 here. Is to the next 12 months. He's been a member for 12 months. Shout out to Alex. We appreciate you, brother. Let me go to my brother, D's Ill Skills, and then I'm going to introduce some people into the show. D's, what do you make of this, man? Was Joe Person trying to start a little shit? Was he just being honest and using that journalistic integrity? What do you make of this, brother?
Well, it was straight from the comment from Chuba Hubbard that sparked it. When I saw the news headline, the article online from Joe, I was like, well, that's a little spicy. But I'm like, well, there's nothing to talk about much, except for mini camp, and they only get to go a couple of days a week. They don't get to go. They don't have as much access as they used to. So he's kind of scrounging around for something to write for. But once Chuba responded to it, I was like, okay, well, this is full blown. But let's talk about Chuba's path and his journey, right? So we remember when Matt Rule got fired. Of course, that's who drafted Chuba. He always felt like the number 2 back behind Deonta Foreman. Deonta was clearly the number 1 guy in that backfield, the better runner. But the Panthers decided not to keep him. We didn't. When Frank Reich got in, he reaches out and brings in Miles Sanders. And not only does he bring him in, he gives him the big off season. So that was something wild right there. But what happens with Chuba? Well, he continues to work and grind and do what he does, kick butt, is working after practice and all the hard work ethic that he has, and he earns a spot from Miles. And I think Miles really took offense to that because he was paid that big contract to come in and be that number 1 running back. And then when Dave Canales comes in, it seems like Dave Canales immediately embraces Chuba. I remember that first scene, the first practice for Dave Canales as head coach. He's holding his arms out. The breeze is blowing. He's got a long sleeve shirt on. It's kind of flapping in the wind. He says, "Do you feel that, Chuba?" And Chuba kind of smiles and nods, and he holds his hands out too. And it felt like automatically him and Dave Canales had a bond. And I didn't get those same kind of vibes with Miles Sanders. And I can see why Chuba said that the running back room was off, and it was what Wes was pointing out. And it's the coaching that got the guy. They couldn't really pull the guys together and form what an actual team needs to be. Those guys having each other's back, those guys embracing that competition. That was something that Dave Canales was able to do, and I think Chuba and his hard work ethic is an embodiment of what Dave Canales is trying to build here in Carolina. Cody.
Yeah, man. I think so too, man. Like, it's hard for me to not be on the side of Chuba Hubbard. Listen, let me just say this. I'm not really on anyone's side because, like, I don't think that Joe Person was super off base to say it that way, because when Chuba Hubbard said his initial statements, that it kind of was that way. Like, his initial statement did kind of lead you to believe that maybe there was some sort of bad energy presence on that team. However, I can also see why Chuba Hubbard didn't want it to come off like he was taking a shot at somebody who maybe he was a friend with. So at the end of the day, I just like the energy from Chuba Hubbard. I agree with what everyone has said here. Like, Chuba Hubbard has done nothing but continue to grow as a football player and as a person. I think he's become one hell of a representative for our team, and I'm really appreciative of his energy. And listen, to any long-time C3 listener, y'all know I am one of the OG Chuba Hubbard defenders. Like, I was defending this dude when he was dropping passes his rookie year because I saw the potential behind this running back. So I'm a big fan of him. I'm probably going to defend him biasly no matter what. But, yeah, I just wanted to make sure everybody could jump in on this. Let me welcome in my brother from another mother, C3, Kyle, in the building here for the free-for-all. What's up, Kyle?
Yes, sir. What's up, fellas? Glad I took the night off so I come join this wonderful show and not listen to it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, buddy.
So we'll talk some Panthers football. And Chuba, like I was mentioning before, like we was talking about how Chuba, has come into his own, like how he's a standout player. So you talk about XL being at the hockey game and everybody freaked out because he was there, and like you didn't do enough during the season and he was there. Chuba was at the Edmonton game last week. I ain't hear nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I
was going to say something about that.
Clearly, the media thinks. Yeah, clearly the media thinks if you do well, you can go out and be a regular human being like everybody else. But if you don't perform on Sunday, you can't be anything but a football player. And that's the narrative that I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. So that's all I got to say about Chuba. Let's have a great show.
Welcome
Yes,
back,
sir.
Well, you know what? Let me throw a little more gas here. Y'all are aware of what Miles Sanders said when he signed with the Cowboys, right?
No,
he threw some. I
can't
can't remember what it was, but he threw some shade.
What did he say?
Threw some
Yeah.
shade.
He quite a bit of dirt on the Panthers. He didn't go into
I'm
detail,
sure
but
he
he says basically the Panthers things didn't go the way he envisioned. There was a lot of problems down there. There was a lot of lies. There wasn't much to work with. He wasn't
Get
going
in
to
here,
take
G,
onus
baby.
on himself. He wasn't going to take onus on himself.
So
Miles
Pitt,
Sanders is a worthless excuse. But at the same time, I'll say this. Chuba made it work. If Chuba can make it work, Miles just didn't want to make it work.
Yeah.
Miles was useless for the Eagles except for 1 year.
Yeah. Hey, let me welcome in a couple more people. We got Locks Man in the building. What's up, Locks?
what's good? So I heard Pick talking about Miles. So Miles said what? What did Miles say?
I clicked out of it. I have to go back to it. I'll bring it up in a minute, okay?
We'll circle back to it.
Okay, so what's the discussion about Chuba Hubbard? It's about Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah,
what's up?
Yeah,
about Chuba Hubbard?
Chuba Hubbard took issue with Joe Person saying that so the other day they interviewed Chuba Hubbard and he said something like the energy was a little bit off in the running back room last year, and Joe Person interpreted that like he was taking shots at Miles Sanders, who was here the past 2 years. So do you think that? And then he took issue with Joe Person saying that. Do you feel that maybe Miles Sanders was a bad energy in that locker room, in the running back room?
I mean, he got paid. I mean, they paid him.
Yeah.
They made him the number one running back. So what problem would he really have? He didn't perform. That was his fault. So what problem do he got with the Panthers that he? Matter of fact, I'm gonna go listen to what Miles did Miles Sanders do an interview when he said that, or did he just did somebody report that he said
No,
that?
Chuba Hubbard alluded to it 2 or 3 days ago when he said that the energy was a little off in prior running back. I'm sort of paraphrasing. It's something along those lines. But Chuba Hubbard dropped a hint that something was wrong.
I posted the link in the private chat with what Miles said, and then I'm going to go in quote notations with exactly to quote Chuba Hubbard exactly the way he said it, just the way we're practicing, the way we trust each other, the way we're communicating. It's starting to show. The more we practice, the more we play, the closer we're getting, and better we're going to get. Usually in the running back room, sometimes it can get a little bit off, but everyone's cool in our room, and it's a blessing. I don't take that for granted. Chuba Hubbard via The Athletic.
That ain't shit, then, Pickle. Good
That's
God,
exactly.
they
Yeah,
overblown that
exactly
like a
what
motherfucker.
you
Then.
stated. That's what Chuba stated, and you can read on your screen what Miles Sanders said when he was signed by the Cowboys.
This is Miles Sanders. He said these last 2 years, I really didn't have much to say. I guess I'd say I handled the situation as best as I could. There was a lot of things out of my control that I would not like to speak on and just keep it in-house. So I'll just keep it at that. Definitely a learning experience. You just have to control what you can control. I think I made the best out of the situation with the cards I've been dealt with. There's a lot of stuff out of my control, but I'm just blessed. So listen, Miles Sanders really didn't even say anything too egregious. But even if you hear that, you can tell that he had some things that he was sitting and stewing on for a while, which makes me believe that there was something a little bit off about that other running back. Hold on. Let me introduce somebody into the show all the way from Newcastle, England. And I always am confusing Newcastle and Manchester. I hope I got it right. But to my brother from across the pond, Alex, Brit Panther. How are you, man?
What's up, boys? I'm good. How are you?
Doing
Hey,
good,
buddy.
man. Happy to have you back, man. How you been?
Thank you very much. I'm good, actually. It's been a few weeks, so I thought I'd stick my head back in again.
Yes, sir. And
Appreciate
real quick, before we go any further, I want to personally apologize because I personally drove Christian McCaffrey out of town. And I didn't even know I did that, boys. And I just wanted to apologize. I didn't even know I did no wild shit like that. So I apologize on behalf of Panther Nation. Alex, what's up with you, brother? What are you thinking, man?
I was obviously just listening to you guys. I haven't had any. I don't get obviously this sort of information over here, so I can only give my opinion based on what you are telling us. But from my perspective, I don't give a shit about fucking Miles Sanders, right?
Yeah.
The guy
That's how
got
I
paid.
feel.
The guy didn't fucking perform. I was just looking at his stats there while I was waiting to come on. He played, what, five games for us last year?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at this here. He had 1 touchdown in that entire time. He's hardly had any yards.
Yeah.
It's just, if you're going to put the guy on big money, he needs to perform, and evidently he hasn't done. I can't think of anything other than the Atlanta game at the end of last year where I've personally seen him do anything particularly good. But to be honest, I want players to be butthurt when things aren't going their way. I want them to be fired up. I want other players in the dressing room as well to say you're not pulling your weight, you're not performing. And at the end of the day, they're paid to compete against each other. And if just because he's been given a big contract and then expects to play, he still needs to put the performances in, and evidently he hasn't done that, so he's rightfully been taken out. But like I say, I want players to fucking say when shit's not right. I would expect that to be the case.
Yeah.
If I could say real quick, I like the way Chuba's handled the situation. And let's go back a little. Chuba,
He's been a consummate professional.
yeah, Chuba was originally a 4th round pick. When situations happen, we dumped Christian McCaffrey, bum ass, to the 49ers for what we didn't get enough of. And yeah, I said bum ass. What you gonna do about it?
Pickle, you so petty. That's petty Pendergrass over there.
Well, it is what it is, man. It's
we appreciate it.
nonetheless.
Stay petty.
Did he play more games for us than he sat?
He was a blue tint warrior over here. So
Yeah, that's
it.
not on,
Anyway,
man.
but we got rid of him, and remarkably, Chuba Hubbard and Foreman did a really good job. And then
I enjoyed
the
watching
team
them work.
in at the time, in their infinite Scott Fitter world, they brought in Miles Sanders to give him that boatload of money and said, he's a starter. Chuba, you're going to be the good backup in the corner. To the end of the year, Chuba was the guy that got the yards, that got the job. He took Miles Sanders' job. He got it. Well, then the very next year, the team in Scott Fitter's or whoever it was, it might not have been Scott Fitter, but nonetheless, in their infinite wisdom, they wasted a 2nd round pick on a bum ass running back named Jonathan Brooks. What happened? It didn't mean the damn thing this year or next. So
The
therefore,
fight between Pickle and Drew
Chuba
Davis is going to
Hubbard
be epic
still
today.
stood his ground and is the best running back on this roster.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is,
Whether
bro.
you like it or not.
That's
The only part you're not wrong. The only part you're wrong about is I don't think Jonathan Brooks is a bum.
I don't think he's a bum either.
Well,
I don't think he no bum.
we'll
Now.
see.
He just
Well,
injury prone. I don't think he no bum.
He's got to prove
Next
it.
year,
But
we'll see. If
He might
he
have a
comes
bum
out
leg,
like
but he ain't no
everybody on
bum.
fire,
Wait, hold on. So, no, hold on.
I'll
That's-
say, golly
look.
geez, look at that.
That's a really good question. Let's go on that. How many of you people believe that there's no more hope left for Jonathan Brooks on this team?
You
I
can't have a
wholeheartedly believe
I
that.
mean, look. Two ACLs for a running back. That's a bad look. Two ACL injuries for a running back. That's a bad look. But he's gonna sit out all this year. He got one more year. I mean, in hindsight, it was a dumbass pick. In hindsight, you know what I'm saying. But I mean, you still got to give him at least one more year. I mean, you can't call him a bum yet. You can't call him a bum until he get on the field. I mean, you know.
let me go to Jake. Go ahead, Jake.
I mean, there's always hope, but it's gonna be an uphill battle. I'm just being honest with you. I mean, I liked the Jonathan Brooks pick when it first happened, but I mean, it is the same injury, the same ACL. It is an uphill battle, but there's always hope. But I just want to say that Chuba Hubbard has survived 3 head coaching changes, 3 of them. He's been in 3 different offenses, and he's just now being sold as the lead back. Miles Sanders came in to basically take Chuba Hubbard's job, and because they wasn't fully committed for Chuba Hubbard. Now it's Chuba Hubbard's job, and now whoever's behind him, it's going to be an uphill battle for them. If they want that job, you're going to have to take it. But it's Chuba Hubbard's job right now.
Yeah, man. Let me go to we'll go to Kyle, then Alex. Kyle, how do you feel about Jonathan Brooks going forward? Is there hope for him?
Well, so like I said in the chat, if he changes his running style, I mean, he could be better. Like, you think of, because Dowdle's probably not going to stick around. So, if you think of Jonathan Brooks, he was kind of known in Texas for being like that 1 cut, 2 cuts, and he's up the field. Now, if he takes away those cuts and he just starts running straight and he doesn't like depend on his knee to make a cut, I think he'll be all right. I don't think that, it would make him one-dimensional, but with a second running back that's, either Chuba Hubbard or whoever, you know what I mean? That makes him a good 1-2 punch, in my opinion. Like, I'm not going to say he's your 30 yards a carry type of guy, but if you got 3rd and 4, you put 20 pounds on Jonathan Brooks and he's a monster. And go right through the line. So that's my theory. Like, I'm not going to call him a bum, because if he changes his running style and he doesn't try to cut and juke and spin and cut outside and run around all this lot, he might be all right.
Go ahead, Jake.
Now, I was going to say, just be a downhill running back. Simple as that. Just be a downhill running back. You don't have to make them cuts. Just gain a little bit of weight. I mean, he can do that. Protect them legs, man. That's a great way to protect your legs.
Cody, when everybody speaks,
I want
to respond to everybody.
I will. I'll let you know.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Pickle, you're not by yourself.
Yeah, we have a bunch of background. Hey, hold on one second. Hold on. No, he's having a mute your microphone, Locks. You have a bunch of background noise. Let me go to Alex first. Alex, what do you think about Jonathan Brooks and his future with the Panthers?
I mean, like I've seen before, you can't, as far as I'm concerned, you can't have somebody who is in such a high impact position be made of paper mache. He's the kind of person they're the kind of injuries that he's had. They're massive injuries to come back from. And I feel when you're somebody putting so much movement in that, that part of your body and taking impact after impact, I can't see how that is ever going to be, how he's ever going to come back and be the guy that we thought he was going to be. I mean, I'm a lot newer to this sport than you guys are. So you guys may have memories of players who've come back after massive injuries like that. But I'm just looking from a perspective of other sports that aren't anywhere near as contact heavy. You have 2 big injuries like that, and it's very rare that you see a player come back and be the guy that he was before, or the guy that you, in this case, thought he was going to be. So, I mean, I suppose the jury's out at the minute, isn't it, until you see him back on the field. But 2 years out of any sport, 2 years out of anything, whether that is it any other job, you've not done it for 2 years, then, can you ever be as good as you were before you were out for 2 years?
So I want to say 2 things real quick. One, I believe that you sort of have to blame at least part of the blame on the Carolina Panthers. We brought him back when there was literally no point to, and he re-injured the same leg. But Pickle, he didn't want to tear his own ACL. But
can we blame our team doctors?
He said I'm ready, I'm good to go. The trainer said he's ready, good to go.
Right, so then you can't blame him. Because he wanted to play football. when everyone told him he had the opportunity to play football. It's the job of the people in charge to pull him back, and for the betterment of his health and future, and for your organization to be able to do the right thing. This is what everyone wanted Ron Rivera to do for Cam Newton at the end of Cam Newton's career, when he kept on putting himself out and getting injured and injured and injured. I just think that it's a little unfair to put it all on Jonathan Brooks. That's all I'm saying.
Can we blame our doctors, our team doctors?
Sure.
Somewhat?
They're
Why
gone,
not?
so yeah, why not?
Sure.
Because
All-
for me,
We-
they're the ones you have to blame the most.
Here's my response. Let me tell you what. I don't have anything against Jonathan Brooks, but I'm going to be real clear here, okay, y'all? Every time I see C-Dog and G-Baby mouth and disrespect XL because he went on the field and tried his best. Wasn't perfect, but he tried. He still produced more yards
yeah, they're being
than
hypocritical.
Jonathan Brooks did. Then you shut your fucking mouth about Chuba Hubbard. You shut your fucking mouth about Jonathan Brooks and XL.
What the hell is that?
I don't want to hear it and I don't want to see it. You walk your walk or you talk your talk. You can't say XL's trash and then say what Jonathan Brooks,
Right. Hey, I agree with you,
100%.
but them being hypocritical doesn't mean that we have to do the same shit. Like I think
What?
what's fair is that Jonathan Brooks wanted to come back, and I will never ever ever blame him for that. However, here's the truth of the matter: we're probably going to have, by the time we see Jonathan Brooks, he will be halfway done with his
Right.
contract. That is not a good thing for him. So we're going to have to see how it plays out. I'm not giving up on him, but now that you add Trevor Etienne and Rico Dowdle, it's definitely going to be harder for him to make a real impact on this team with what he has left.
Let me slide in here. Let me slide in here. We're missing one thing. I think the Brooks injury fundamentally changed some things within the Panthers organization. I'm surprised you guys didn't bring it up considering what's going on this week. Okay, number one, it got the training staff fired. They were just replaced this offseason by Dan Morgan. That, first of all, really happened, and it was probably long past due, to be really honest about it, even though it seems to be we're about middle of the league when it comes to injuries. But along with that, you had a guy that you put that much assets in, a second-round draft pick, and you said he was ready to go, but he definitely wasn't ready to go. It wasn't like he got a lot of carries. He got a couple and then had a rare injury, but still a devastating one for a running back. We'd have to probably research pretty deep to find guys that came back from that injury at the running back position, and it's probably rare, if any. Along with that, what did they do with McMillan this week? They sat him because he had a slight injury, from a guy on the ground or whatever. He got kicked is what they said, and they sat him. So now they're more cautious. Same thing with Jimmy Horn, tweaked hamstring, and let him sit too. So I think that the Brooks injury last year has kind of made the Panthers staff a little bit gun shy with these rookies. And same thing with XL if you want to throw him in a lot, because I think XL played through some things he probably shouldn't have last year. So to be honest, I think that when you got these young guys coming in and they're excited to be in the NFL and they're excited to go out there and prove themselves, you got to let them take it easy on their own bodies. I think the Panthers staff is starting to understand that now, that this 17-game season for these rookies coming in is a really long haul for them. It's not the same as a college season. So I think the fundamentals of that have changed now going forward. And can Brooks come back from this? It's going to be difficult. And I think that the draft pick of ETN is interesting because Dan said multiple times they see him as a returner. But during this long season, it's not hard to imagine that one of those Dowdle or Chuba could miss a couple games and ETN will get some burn. We'll get to see him from the running back position as well.
Dude, I'm about to change Diz's name from the brand ambassador to the voice of reason. Because that's what the man, bro, you just worded that so perfectly, man. Like, I think this was a learning opportunity for not only the front office to maybe not be so aggressive on players that have an injury history, but also to the coaching staff to be able to know how to tone it back and be able to take care of your players. Absolutely, choice diesel skills. Alex wanted to jump in. Go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, I was just going to say that, like, for me, the blame has got to be with the medical staff. I know I don't want to go around in circles here, but
No, you're fine.
For me, Jonathan Brooks is an expert on running a football up a field. He's not. All he can do is be asked the question of how do you feel? I feel all right, and the ultimate call has to be by the medical professionals. That's what they're there for. All they can say is, yeah, this guy's gone through a long enough period. He says he feels all right, but they're the experts. They should be the ones making the call. They should be the ones telling the coaches, this guy's ready, this guy's not ready. It doesn't matter ultimately what the player says. If the player wants to go on the field, fuck him if he's not ready. It's the medical staff that should be held accountable for saying, yeah, he's fine. Because at the end of the day, you can feel fine, but something can be not right at the point where it needs to be. They are the guys that should be making that call. But the only other thing I've got left to say, Cody, is I hope you've got that ding ready for when G Baby arrives.
Bro, when G Baby arrives,
It's gonna be on.
and you know, C Dog is gonna jump in here.
He was supposed to be here.
Oh yeah, Pickle. Just see Pickle trying to fucking
Read
interrupt
that
me.
don't know.
Yeah, you're gonna be a problem today, Pickle. I can already tell. And don't cause no trouble. I'll drop the rock on everybody, bro.
I'm going to get myself off, right?
I felt
Hey,
that rock.
Cody,
I felt that rock before.
Cody, don't
Hey,
give
you
him a good time.
gotta add the shut the hell up to the rock.
Yeah, man. Listen, let me thank you to Michael Reap with the $5. Says nothing like ending the week with you guys. Keep pounding. Thank you.
pounding.
Keep pounding.
We feel the same, Michael.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I always look forward to a Friday. But we're not even an hour into the show, and we've already got a bunch of action here,
You know
boys.
what, Cody?
Let's go.
You guys mentioned the medical staff, and I want to shine in on a little bit here. Y'all know that medical staff's been here since 2017.
Yeah.
You calculate all the quarterback, all the
CMC.
injuries that's been beasted. I don't know the word for it.
You mean to
That-
tell me
all
I
the
can blame them
bullshit
for losing
injuries?
concussions?
Exactly.
Maybe
All
so.
the bullshit injuries since 2017 under this one medical staff,
Yep.
this one set of trainers. And how bad is it that finally Dan Morgan, he seems to be the only one up there sometimes with brains that could get something done, that
Yeah.
says, fuck this shit. And in
Thank-
one OTAs and minicamp, as Dee's pointed out, we can already see a different set of intelligence. And I'm going to shout out a team I often don't. I'm going to shout out the Jacksonville Jaguars. They too had their scare of injuries in their OTA and training camp. What they do? They said, wait a minute, boys, sit down over here and rest a minute. Guess what? They still don't have major injuries now. Why? Because they pulled them boys back and said, sit down over here. Let me say what? I want to ask everybody on the panel. In the
Shit.
old medical staff, do you think any of those folks we set down to hold them out for the rest of their practice, how many of them would have went right back in there and played? Medical
Yeah.
staff said, nah, they'll be all right. Go ahead.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We'd have had a lot more fucked up guys.
But the
Yeah.
sheer amount of injuries, dude, I'm talking J.C. Horn, Derek
criminal.
Brown, the amount of injuries that we have had on our team.
Yeah.
You know, we were just talking about
Shaq.
Christian McCaffrey being a blue tent warrior the entire time that he was here. Like, to me, them firing that staff was so long overdue. Go ahead, Jake.
Oh,
Nah,
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
going to add on to you. It's been time for that to happen, and I would go so far as saying that it was long enough for some of our scouts to get fired, whether that was college scouts or the professional scouts. Thank God thank God we got Dan Morgan. Like, seriously, thank God we finally got a competent man in there that's making changes for the better of this team. I'm ready for it, man.
You remember the motherfuckers that were saying he couldn't be a GM?
Don't.
Dogs.
You remember them motherfuckers that said, "Oh yeah, Dan Morgan was part of the problem. He
Yeah,
doesn't
they
know
were
what he's
saying that
doing.
he
He
was
don't know how
not
to
fit or
draft.
2.0, wasn't
He don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here." You know.
But
What I'm saying?
remember, that's a good point, Jake. They didn't want Dan Morgan because they viewed him as just an extension of Fitterer, and
Yeah.
that was so unfair the entire time. It was so unfair.
and it's coming out of that 2-win season, man. And it's like this. Y'all touched it on it on Tuesday. Like this has been 7 years since we've been to the playoffs, the longest drought in Panthers history. And because it was because of the teardown of this roster, the rebuild's been atrocious. It's like start over again, start over again, start over again, and it finally feels like we're starting over the right way. Even though, I mean, the Brooks thing didn't work out. I mean, Sideshow pointed that out. Shout out to Sideshow. That's the one bad thing that Dan Morgan's done. But nobody's screaming about Tepper now. When we were 2-15, trust me, Tepper was the freaking problem, and everybody believed that. And there was no convincing anyone otherwise. But we watched the blueprint. He sat there kind of quietly. Dan talked to him when he wanted to, or when he felt like he needed his opinion. And it seems like Dan made him sit down. I mean, I remember that story that come out that Dan was in the weight room early in the morning, and he invited Tepper down there to come talk to him, and they had a man-to-man talk. And the next thing you know, Dan Morgan's the GM of the team, and it seems like we're on the right track. And I think a lot of other fans feel the same way. So shout out to Dan Morgan and what he's done so far. And putting Tepper in his place, for goodness sakes. I was so tired of listening to everybody complain about Tepper because, damn, there ain't nothing we can do about it. He bought the team.
And you know what I think, Deez? I think that David Tepper, for the first time, actually trusts the people that he put in charge. And I think that's something, too. It's like, love him or hate him, that man bought the team with a blank check. That man is going nowhere. So the fact that Dan Morgan, and I think you have to add Brent Tillis to this equation as well.
Absolutely.
They have done an exceptional job of pointing this team in the right direction and making David Tepper feel like, I don't even have to put my hands in this situation. They have it covered. Go ahead, Jake, and I'm introduce someone.
Speaking of blank checks, I'm giving Brand Tillis that so he don't leave us. Dude.
Hell
Damn
yeah.
right.
Oh yeah.
I'm giving him whatever I could possibly give him for him to stay, man. Because him and Dan Morgan, I'm telling you, that combo we got to keep for as long as we possibly can.
I'm not going to say that Brent Tillis is the only reason that Tershawn Wharton signed with us, but I will say he's probably the biggest reason.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
That, I'm giving him
This all I got to say. This all I got to say. This all I got to say because like whenever I talk, sometimes like sometimes it'll cut out and like I see y'all up there and sometimes that shit is like all y'all faces will go blank and shit. So I'll be like, God damn, what the fuck going on? But this is what I'm gonna ask you, Cole, dog.
Yeah, bro.
Do you think Tepper took advice from people around the league as far as who to hire? Or do you think he looked himself in the mirror and said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this shit the right way, and I'm not going to do it just my way. I'm going to listen to everybody. Or do you think he took advice from don't they get like consultation from consultation some shit?
They hire companies to consult them on who the best hires are. But the reason why I don't think so, Locks, is because how many other consulting firms, after you've already hired and fired 2 general managers and 2 head coaches, how many people would have told him to hire someone who was already a part of the organization? Like, to me, that doesn't seem like anyone would advise him to do that. So for those reasons, I feel like David Tepper does deserve a little bit of credit for giving Dan Morgan the opportunity to do this, because I don't think anyone outside of the organization would have went to bat for Dan Morgan. If that makes sense, man. Yeah, let me hey, real quick.
I got you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it. Hey, awesome question, man. Hey, let me welcome in my brother from another mother from the 704 Charlotte Bound Show here on YouTube. My friend Twan Don. What's up, Twan?
Watch it.
Big Twan, you're muted, bro. What's up?
What you feel about you night and day? How I feel about you.
Yeah. Serenading us on a Friday.
New York City bound. I'm back home in the Big Apple, the Rotten Apple. Stand up, the greatest city on earth.
Happy you made it back safe, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Glad you're home, Twan.
What's going on, fellas, man?
What up, Twan?
Chilling, man.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys, but like me and my wife, we have recently moved too, man. So, you know,
cool,
moving process shit is you fuck
Dude,
with
it's
your mental
the
health.
worst. Brother, it's the worst. I've been through it.
Twan moved to Charlotte.
Damn.
It's never fun, bro. It's
Twan
never
moved to Charlotte. He left out of Raleigh. Twan moved his ass to Charlotte, didn't you, Twan? You moved to Charlotte, didn't you, Nick?
No. I actually moved from. I actually moved. We moved from. We bought a house.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, man. We bought a house in Durham, North Carolina. So Raleigh, Durham area, the whole triangle.
That's what's up.
Right there at the line, though.
Yeah, about to say congratulations, Twan.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Hey, Twan, let me ask you this, man.
So if you guys know anything about Research Triangle Park in Raleigh, Durham, that's where we live.
Oh, I know that it's an awesome. Everybody loves the triangle, man.
Right.
But Twan, let me have you jump in on this conversation around Jonathan Brooks. What does the future hold for Jonathan Brooks, and has his time to make an impact already run out?
So I'm catching y'all now, so I didn't really. I was trying to see what you guys were talking about. So, you talking about Jonathan Brooks, the running back?
That's the only one I know.
Yeah, gonna be the odd man out, man. He just got caught up in a bad situation.
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna be a Panther in the future, if that's what you're asking me. Nope.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna see what the other guy got. I don't know, man. Two injuries, and you starting off like that. It's. I mean, we've seen it done, but it's tough to come back after two injuries and to have people have confidence in you.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
gonna be tough.
It just because it happened once, don't mean it happens often.
It's not a regular thing.
No,
exactly.
And y'all, after that third one, if it wasn't for a head coach getting his back, he would not have come back.
No.
Yeah, I feel for him though.
People do not realize that.
No, I feel for him. I hope he makes a full recovery, but by that time, he'd probably be with somebody else.
Can I just say that I love the smack talk between Bryce Young and J.C. Horn?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
And I also like the smack talk that Chuba Hubbard be giving people too.
Yeah, he said Chuba Hubbard. Joe asked Chuba about it, and Chuba said that's for on the field. I can't put out on the media what we say on the field.
We got Ravens fans amongst us, Cody.
Yeah, shout out to Ravens.
Hey man, shout out to Don C. Says, what up, C3? I'm a Raven fan. Subscribe when Mayfield came to you. I love your format and watch often. Cody, prayers for your mother. Keep pounding. Thank you, Don. These are some of my favorite comments when people who aren't even fans of the Panthers still come around to rock with us, bro. That means a ton. Thank you, Don. We're happy that you're enjoying the content. Jake, that was a beautiful transition, bro. Because let me ask y'all this.
I want to say one thing real quick, man. And I do this every now and then because I feel like it's the right thing to do. And everybody doesn't know me and Cody's history. Me and Cody got history.
Oh yeah.
And I always, I grew up. Pickle grew up. A lot of people grew up to respect your elders. You know what I'm saying? And respect the things that came before you and honor it. And once again, man, I just want to honor Cody, the professor, and all those guys with C3 because they're the longest lasting, and you just it's rare in these days that people give it up to people and give them their flowers while they're still here.
Yes,
and I want to continue to always give you guys your flowers. You guys are one of the shows that made me want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Myself. When I was at another show, but I wanted to do it myself. I got to talk to Cody. I won't really tell y'all what me and Cody talked about, but Cody just pulled me out of the mud with a conversation, bro. And I've been off since then, man. 704 Charlotte Bound show, 6,000 subscribers later. But C3 is a place that I'm finding that a lot of people come to C3 because they feel welcomed over here. There's friendships over here. And, I just believe in paying homage. You know what I'm saying? I'm not brown nosing. or nothing like that. And it's just something that we don't see people do a lot. You know what I'm saying? So give people their flowers while they're doing it, and don't wait until something bad happens.
Thank you, brother. It has always been our mission to make C3 a place where every single Panther fan of every single background, of every single opinion can come here, feel heard, and feel respected. And as long as we're doing that, I think we're doing damn good. Numbers be damned, we do it.
And look. Yeah, and this is another thing for Code Dog, man. Like, I started watching this show back in when I started watching this show, because at first Code Dog went on this show. I'm like, damn, where Code Dog come from? Like Code Dog, for no disrespect to nobody, I think Code Dog really run this show. Like Code Dog, he really like the dude that really be on that shit like that. Like for real. Like, I mean, Tony, them dudes that they do it, but Code Dog, he really be Code Dog put work in this shit, bro. Like I watch Code Dog, he put work in this shit, bro.
No, they all put the work in.
And you know what? This is how I say it. Tony Dunn gave me an incredible opportunity to be a part of this. I am forever grateful to my man Tony. And I definitely do put a lot of work in to C3, but it's an honor, man, because I love y'all. Like we've already said, doing this every single Friday and every single Tuesday, and after the game every Sunday, bro, this has changed my life for the better in so many ways. Yes. So blessed to have all of y'all in my life, man. Thank y'all for the kind words. And I'm not going nowhere, brother. So you can put that to the back.
Everybody get in the huddle on 3. Say family. 1, 2, 3.
Family. Let's go, bro. So hey, man, let's jump back into this Panthers conversation. What do y'all make of the back and forth between two people who have not been very known to do the trash talking? J.C. Horn and Bryce Young going back and forth. What do we make of this, y'all?
It makes me
why it take them so long, bro?
You know what it makes me think for real, Cody? It makes me think that they've been looking at Twitter and they've been seeing all the pictures of Cam Newton grabbing up Josh Norman and saying, all the tweets I've seen on X from all these different fans that saying, I'm not going to take this team as a playoff team seriously until I see this. And I've seen that tweet all over Twitter. So I feel like they've been looking at that shit. I feel like they've been keeping the energy up and understanding that the fans think when there's a competition in camp, they feel better about it. You know what I'm saying?
Let me give you my quick flow, man. And I'm sure the great Pickle, you know what I'm saying, will agree with me when I say this, man. When I say iron sharpens what?
Iron.
Yeah. So when you got a guy with all that tenacity on your team and is a ready and a go-getter and wants to win, it only sharpens the guys around them. And trust me, not in a whole lot of things, but in football, on the same team, talking shit is a gem.
Yes.
It's only going to make them better. You live for it. You can't wait to get to practice. I'm going to fuck with Pickle today, man. Pickle, I don't like the way you tackled him. You could have tackled him better, Pickle. That was some bullshit. Pickle was like, okay, now watch this. You know what I'm saying? Right. That's how it goes, bro.
Iron sharpens iron. Let's go Pickle and then Jake.
Right. And it's not, and I'll tell you probably right, but it's not just watching on YouTube. Y'all got to remember Luke Kuechly's up there.
That's right.
Thomas Davis is right there at the sidelines.
Josh Norman was there too.
Josh Norman was there. Trey Boston was there. Jonathan Stewart.
Kurt Coleman.
Y'all know they're like, where's all the trash talk? Y'all supposed to be trash talking each other. That's how it works.
Yeah.
And the fact that both sides of the team in a rare Panther moment got some major upgrades this year.
Yes.
Both sides of the team have improved.
I feel like we went to Target.
You're right. J.C. Horn and Bryce Young and Chuba Hubbard have a reason to be hyped up. They have a reason to be pumped.
Yeah.
And, all I want to do is see him move it from the practice field to the regular field.
That's
exactly.
Yeah.
Y'all too, hey, this new generation, y'all too nice, man. Y'all want to be friends. Y'all want to exchange jerseys.
Yeah,
Man,
no.
fuck that.
They all
Fuck
hang
all
out
that.
and work together in all
I
season
liked
fun.
it when the corner or the
Yes.
safety would knock the shit out of the
Yeah,
wide
bro.
receiver, look over and say, "Yeah, get up, bitch."
Man, get your ass up.
This
Yeah.
is two.
Go ahead, Jake.
This is two guys that's tired of losing. Two guys that's been doubted the whole time during their career. I mean, if you go to Bryce Young, I mean, they was saying that he could be the biggest bust of all time. When it comes to J.C. Horn, PFF don't even got him in the top 10.
I know.
Both these
Hey.
guys have been doubted in their career. Both these guys are tired of losing. And if it takes talking that smack in training camp, practice, whatever, hey, I like it, man. Amp it up. I'm glad that they're tired of losing, man. I'm glad that they're tired of being doubted and they want to prove it. They want to show it. I love it.
Love it,
To me-
man. Let me go to D's and then Kyle. Go ahead, D's.
I was going to say, to me, Jake, this is part of J.C. Horn fulfilling that leadership role. I mean, briefly, we made him the highest paid cornerback in the league, and we showed our confidence in him 100%. And I think this is J.C.'s way, or part of the way, because he definitely was doing it last year, handing out straps left and right in training camp. You could literally see him doing it from the stands. But yeah, this year as well, just talking a little smack, handing out seatbelt tickets, making it a fun game. And I think that's a good way to bring in these young wide receivers and train them the correct way on a guy that just is coming off a Pro Bowl experience. And now he's making his voice heard out there on the field in front of all the guys on defense so that they know he's a leader on this team. And if they have a question about what they're doing, they know they can look to JC, and JC can tell them where they're supposed to be in this complicated Avero scheme. And on top of that, you know, it's pushing the young guys like Nalo and Excel to perform better. And I think this is a great thing moving forward. And I just hope JC keeps this up, because this is what we've always wanted to see from him as a draft pick drafted in the top 10.
Yes, sir. Well said. Kyle, what you think, man?
I couldn't even dream that situation up better. D's, you went right into exactly what I was going to say. Teteroa, when he got drafted that same day, he was telling the cameras that he would. They do the seatbelt celebration over there, so I'm handing out that was the energy day one, and that's the JC Horn that we need. We need that JC Horn on this team. And like when he is playing, confident and cocky, and he's got a swagger about him, that's when he's at his best. And for our rookie receiver to get drafted and have that exact swagger, I mean, I'll be the first to say I wasn't exactly sold on it, but I wasn't sold. It wasn't about the player. It was about the idea of drafting a receiver, back to back.
Yeah.
But for me, it was just that absolute confidence that I'm going to walk in here being the number one receiver in the draft and being like, yeah, I'm ready. Bring it on. I know you're a Pro Bowler. That's what we need.
Man.
As soon as we got it, I was ready.
Love it. Let me play this clip of Dave Canada speaking about the back and forth between Bryce and JC, and then I'm gonna let Wes Justin weigh in on this. This is our head coach, Dave Canada.
Honestly, he gets really animated, and particularly if you're talking about sports, he loves talking about NBA basketball. College sports during the season when we're going, when we're out here on the field, he just has that, I don't know what, he just has a defiance to him. And that's just kind of his way of competing. He's not super animated with it, but he definitely thrives off of that, feeds off of that energy, and he takes his, chances when he can, because JC's trying to bait him into throwing the ball over there, so.
Yeah, man. So for me personally, this feels like an evolution in the character of both Bryce Young and JC Horn, and they are both contributing to each other's evolution. Like Tuan was saying, iron sharpens iron. They're going to make each other better, and then as a byfactor, they're going to make the entire team better. Like Diesel Skills was saying. Justin, weigh in on this, bro.
Man, I just love Dave, bro. I love Coach Dave.
Not wrong.
I just love Coach Dave, man. There's not much to say about that, honestly. His whole approach to it, him being hands-on and getting in there with him, I love it, dude. I love the way he's turning this whole team around just in this short time span, dude.
Yeah. I do too, man. Like it feels like a different energy on
I don't
you.
even know
shit's
what
scary.
I could say possible about him that would be negative in any light. Like he's the fucking man, dude.
I agree.
I want
Yeah,
to see
I'm
him
loving
suit up and go play, bro. He knows his shit.
Yeah.
He might be able to get out there and break some ankles and catch some
Hey, I
touchdowns
bet
himself,
he
you know?
gives David Moore a run for his money.
Hey,
You know, one thing
you never know.
I decided that I wasn't gonna do this year though, Cody, is this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be hyped up for the team. But I ain't giving nobody a pass this year. I'm not going. Look. Everything will have to be
I'm
earned
with
this
you,
year
bro.
as a fan, bro. It's gonna have to be earned. You know, I'm not gonna
I'm
put
with you.
nobody on no pedestal until the season starts and we see what you got. It's got to be earned this year, man. I mean, on paper we look incredible. I know a lot of people gonna be like, look, PFF and all these other people, ESPN, Sports Illustrated, disrespecting us. But guys, guess what? That's what we want. That's what we want. It's not disrespect because they ain't seen it out of us yet. That's what we're supposed to be. They're supposed to doubt us. And I'm trying to tell you, when you know what you can bring to the table and you know that you're dangerous, then that's all the fucking energy you need is when somebody doubts you.
That's when we've been the best, Juan.
That's what's gonna make you the best.
Every time, Kyle.
So when you hear somebody say, "Oh, the Panthers is 28th in this and 29th in that," we ain't did shit to earn nobody's respect yet. So don't let that shit bother you. Let them keep sleeping, and we'll get their ass up when the season starts.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I want. I want everybody to sleep. I don't
Let them sleep.
I don't want to see the Panthers rated this high. I don't want to see Panther players rated this high. I don't want to see that. A lot of that stuff, all that is contract talk. That's all that is. I don't want to see that.
It motivates our players to play better too, to get up that high.
Yeah. When you tell a player he's this great, and he
gonna
comes
be like,
out on the field, I'm Mr. Perfect. What the fuck? What do you mean? He can't run like that. I didn't hear the whistle. No. I want them to walk out on the field and understand they've been disrespected since they came into the NFL.
There you go.
I want them to feel the disrespect.
Use that
I want
shit for your
J.C.
energy.
Horn to understand that he was paid the highest paid, and they turned around and jumped him. Why? Because they
JC feels it.
disrespected his ability.
He feels
They
the disrespect.
disrespected his feelings. I want to see that. I want Bryce Young, when he goes out on that field, the first thing I want him to hear is somebody say, "Hey, Shorty, what's up? Can you see past that line?" I want to hear that. I want Bryce to hear that. I want him to get pissed off.
He gonna be like, "Hey, watch this."
I'm looking forward to smacking to the Jacksonville Jaguars in the mouth at their place week 1. I'm ready for it.
I want to see Big Derek Brown bust through that and take Blondie and power drive him into the mat.
Brown's gonna go crazy, bro. I'm ready.
And especially after him
crazy.
being injured all last year.
He's gonna come back with so much energy and anger, dude.
You guys remember the thing that the Bulls did with Michael Jordan and them? What was the thing they recently did? The documentary that was on Netflix.
Oh, Last Dance.
Last Dance.
Oh, that was really good.
The Panthers can have our own Last Dance this year. They said one of the things that Michael Jordan did was he created beefs in his mind on the other team. Sometimes when you playing football, for any of you guys that's ever played, I know I did it, I would just make up some bullshit in my head about the guy that I was faced with. Like, you spit on my sister, or you cuss my mom.
always talking about my mama, Twan.
Yeah, so in my head, like, you out here trying to take food out of my mouth or something like that. You got it like I'm telling you, it's a gladiator sport. Football is not for the faint of heart. So when you get that shit in your head, you just got to know how to snap out of it when the game is over. I'm out here trying to fuck you up, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if we can go there and control the rage, you know what I'm saying? I let them sleep. We will wake their ass up during the season.
And hey, real quick, just so that way nobody questions where my allegiance lies, I can't wait for Derek Brown to put Trevor Lawrence into the fucking dirt, boys. Let's go.
He'll do it 3 times.
That's a real fan right there. That's a real fan right there.
Pounding.
He's gonna sack Lawrence.
Proud of you for that, Cody.
Sorry, sunshine. Not today, bruh. Not today.
Hey, you can like him every other day, okay, Cody?
Yeah.
Derek Brown talked about getting back into football shape, and that concerned me a little bit when he said that. I don't know how much he's been able to work out with his foot being the way it is, or how much he's been able to run and go on it. I don't know if it's going to be a problem. I don't know if that's an issue. It just concerns me a little bit that he said he's worried he needs to get back in football shape because we're getting close.
I'm gonna tell you what
It is concerning, but
I'm gonna tell you what that is. These, yeah, he's just trying to get his. He's trying to get his win.
Yeah, and he's competing with better players too.
And that's everybody, bro. You ain't gonna get football shape till week
When
2 of the damn season.
When guys say they trying to get a football shape, we trying to get our win, like where we can run multiple plays and not be winded. Like, you ain't in football shape when you got to run a play and then you got to ask to come out because you got to go over there and get some fucking oxygen.
Yeah, man.
Twan, what you think? It's really 2 games. I would say you're really in football shape. That first game, you're not really in football shape.
First game is always the hardest, bro.
The title of that article that I read is saying that Derek Brown had to learn how to walk, bro. I was like, oh my God. He had to learn how to walk again? Yeah, it is rough.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
But you know
That's
what?
tough. Yeah,
we love Derek Brown, and the one thing I like on this team, especially the defense, is the depth.
Sure, we deep.
Because if for whatever reason Derek maybe struggles, I don't think he will. I think he's going to be fine. But if something happens and he does struggle week 1, it ain't no sweat. We got depth behind him that can get that job done. That's something we haven't had in a long time.
I agree.
Even if nothing's wrong, just give him a series off if he needs it. That would be really
if he looks rusty game,
we do now.
If he looks rusty game 1, I'm not going to overly say, "Oh, Derek Brown's a bust" or his games went downhill. You got to give him a couple games, especially coming off that type of injury. It's going to take a little bit.
Right. Well, he should be on a snap count. I believe he'll probably be on a snap.
He will be in the early part of the year, probably.
Now, if he listens to that snap count, that depends on how tough that defensive line coach is.
It's two things. Like you gotta get back in football shape, and then when you're out, you gotta get back into football timing, like the timing of the game. The game could be too fast for you when you first come back, so you gotta get that timing down good too.
Right.
Well, not only that, Swan, he's gonna have that in the back of his mind that he's kind of worried about it. He's gotta get that mindset out of there. He's gonna just wipe it clean out of it. I know it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, he's gonna fill himself out in that first game. He ain't gonna try to do nothing extra.
No, it's credit David Canales, and I'm assuming Dan had something to do with it. But credit David Canales for wanting to go out and get another team to do a practice with. I like that. Because we only scheduled one,
for the team,
and David said we have to get one of them guys to do that. We're on the
phone. The Browns and the Texans. I love that.
But both solid defenses too. Both solid defenses.
Right.
Yeah, Myles Garrett we got coming to town. That'll be a great test for Kevin Kwanu. We have that defensive line for the Texans, and they have Derek Stingley over there. So that'll be perfect.
Akeem Kwanu lost that test last time.
Yes, shout out to Akeem Kwanu.
To be fair, most people do.
He looks like he's the best shape he's ever been in his life.
Say that.
Ready issue.
Yeah, hey, show him that run. Show Icky running.
Use it to my
Robert
ears,
Hunt.
Pickle. Let's go.
I gotta see that again.
Where is that? Hey, where is that, Jake? Where do I find it?
It's on X. Oh man, I can't find it for you. It's on X though.
All right,
he beat Robert Hunt and somebody else. I can't remember who the other offensive
in a straight line run.
For real?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, you got to run harder.
Icky literally said, he said, I can't lose, the camera's rolling.
I'm glad he's working hard because I'm glad we're not playing the Browns during the regular season because those clips of Myles Garrett they had on the internet this week look terrifying. Myles Garrett looks to be in awesome shape for the Browns coming. So I'm glad Ike's working hard.
I said it during the season.
It's money time coming, my friend. He's really stepping his shit up. He
didn't have a bad, like I said, he didn't have a bad year whatsoever. That's coming from Icky, not really a supporter, really a hater, but like he really did have a pretty good season. It's just the penalties. Hey, don't make me. Okay, don't make me.
You just gotta just hope to contain that motherfucker, bro. You ain't gonna stop him.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Don C. Nate Wiggins did do really well for the Ravens. You're
man, Nate Wiggins. I wanted Nate Wiggins, man.
You're
That's a
right
badass
about
corner.
Maybe this year we can draft AJ Terrell's younger brother, who also plays at Clemson, who's also
Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter
Renfro's the best you get.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Cody. I'm sorry.
These Panthers
Hey, but you know what? I will get Hunter Renfrow because that man will be making the roster. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
The amount of people online that are doubting Hunter Renfrow makes this roster is embarrassing to me. Bro.
Let him do it.
I'm using him at Madden right now.
Just fine. He's gonna be all right.
He's gonna come in with fire because of that shit. I'm
let him go. Let him fucking go.
You're right.
He's look. I said this.
Hey, coach. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lux.
No, yeah, go ahead.
What I want to ask Cole, dog. Listen. So, how many receivers do you think gonna make the roster, man? Because on game day, like Dave Canales said, those last few wide receiver roster spots gotta go to guys that can play special teams.
Right.
You got Xavier Leggett, you got McMillan, you got Thielen, you got Coker. Those automatic right there. Then you got Horn. He can play.
Hold up, Coker.
He can play special teams.
Yeah, Coker ain't automatic.
What?
Yeah. He automatic. He automatic.
I disagree on that.
I bet you is.
Credit. Look, I think Renfrow is more automatic than Coker, bro. Renfrow at his 75%, Renfrow at 75% is better than Coker, bro.
So listen, this is my opinion. I think we're gonna have 6 wide receivers. You named most of them. We're gonna have Naldo. We're gonna have XL, Adam Thielen, Jalen Coker, Hunter Renfrow, and Jimmy Horn Jr. I think we're gonna carry.
That's the list.
Yeah,
That's
6 wide receivers on this team. Somebody mentioned Jacoby George. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Whatever you're talking
No.
about.
I think he makes the practice squad. No. Respectfully, I think he might make the practice squad.
Yeah, sure, but over Jimmy Horn and Renfrow, nah.
No.
He ain't going to, but don't do Jacoby like that, Cody. Because
don't do it. Hey, Cody. Yeah, you would throw some shade at. He ain't no scrub, bro. He ain't no scrub.
Come on, man.
Hey, Cody. Hey, Cody. Man, fuck Jacoby George. Fuck Jacoby George.
Yeah.
Roster, man.
Yeah, bro. I'm not with that.
Hey, David. Hey, look. Y'all sleeping on David Moore, bro. I'm telling you, y'all sleeping on David Moore now. Y'all sleeping on David Moore. Okay? Y'all sleeping on David Moore now.
David who?
David Moore.
I think we keep
David Moore.
David
Moore.
I think we keep 7, and David Moore fills into that.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm about to say. Pick.
But the problem, or not, I don't want to say problem. The issue is fans need to understand when they start their fan card going on, because they will. They'll start fan carding it when they start them cuts. If you keep 7 receivers, you're only keeping 3 running backs, more than likely,
and 3 tight ends,
2 quarterbacks, and 3 tight ends.
3 tight ends. Yep.
Yeah,
that's just how that works. Now,
Let me go to
I found a clip of the offensive line running. I posted in private chat, but it's a YouTube short. That's all I found.
Oh yeah, that works. Hey, while I pull that up, let me go to Diesel Scales, because I remember, this is a great memory I have of D's. We were back together Saturday, I believe it was, Sunday or Saturday, and we were there, and D said to me, "Hey man, watch out for David Moore, because he's making some waves." And then sure enough, the very next play, Bryce chucks a dime right to the back of the end zone with David Moore. D, how many wide receivers do you think we keep, and who are those receivers?
I feel more and more like David Moore does make this roster now, and I feel like there's multiple reasons for that. And I think Pickle's right when he said 7. I think we are leaning more towards 7. Okay. The first reason is because Dave Canales is the offensive head coach, man. They brought in 2 wide receivers in this draft. I think a lot of fans wanted them to do that last year, but they decided to do that this year, the first pick and the last pick, both being wide receivers, both with purpose, both meaning. I think Jimmy Horn's really fit into the fold here with the Panthers. I remember when Dan Morgan, he said, well, let me just call Jimmy Horn because he'll be elated or he'll be excited to be on this Panthers team and get a phone call from us. And sure enough, he was. And if you watch the interview with him today, talking to him, and more of the stuff of the mic'd up episode as well, Jimmy Horn's really fitting in well with the Panthers. So there's no way they cut him. Dan Morgan wants him to be a returner here, a special teams guy like we've been talking about, a guy that will contribute there. And David Moore probably would do the same because he's a Dave Canales guy. He was with them with the Bucks. He was with us last year when we had injuries and got banged up. He stepped up and played well for us. So I think David Moore is a solid guy, and I think he's a guy that if you decide to move him down to the practice squad, he'll probably, pass waivers and be able to do that. And you can bring him back up. Whereas a Coker, we did that last year with him. And I don't think this year, if we pulled that, he would stay. He'd get picked up on waivers. So I think David Moore is that bubble guy. He's bouncing back and forth between the practice squad and the active roster at 7. And the last reason why I think it's 7 and why I think David Moore makes the team is because I don't think they're scared to cut guys off this defensive roster and go thin in spots on defense because of that record the defense put up last year. You are who you were on tape last season. So I think some of those guys are more likely to get cut. And because Dave Canales is that offensive-minded coach, we may have more players. We may be a little more offense-heavy, keeping guys than we are on defense with a guy in the last year of his contract.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Can I rebuttal that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Twan.
Guys, please don't throw tomatoes at me when I say it.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Lord, that ain't never good.
We can't promise.
Hey, Cole, get ready. So
I'm in a wild mood, so be careful.
Shut the hell up, Pickle.
Hey, yo, I got a picture to show you a little bit. I want you to tell me if that does look like
Jesus
Jake.
Christ, here we go.
I got to tell you.
Hey, C-Dog. Hey, C-Dog, I want you to know that Pickle said that XL's the best wide receiver that he's seen since prime Jerry Rice.
Oh, shit.
Hey, man, I was defending XL against C-Dog. He said he was coming on. Him and G-Baby, neither one did. So
go ahead, Twan.
It's been more than 20 minutes.
I'm thinking Horn, David Moore, Coker, and Jacoby George.
Why Jacoby George?
Jacoby George, don't sleep on that dude, bro.
I mean, I'm not sleeping on anybody.
So if you really look at them, Jacoby George and Horn, they could be carbon copies, bro. I think Horn is a little faster, but Jacoby George ain't no bum. I mean, look,
he's got cost production.
Yeah,
I mean, don't look at this man too.
If it wasn't
let me.
Probably would.
No, it's an embarrassment of riches. We got. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say two things. One, Kitty Zio. Hey, bro, we have plenty of time, brother. If you want to jump on. And let me welcome in my man. But we've been missing you around here, bro. If we got Anthony back on the free.
What up, Ant?
How about as soon as I introduce Anthony, he drops out?
Ah, dang.
He's probably working.
Hey, but to Alex, Zio, jump in, man. We got plenty of room and plenty of time.
Yeah, I want to clarify something I just said.
One of those wide receivers, somebody gonna get their feelings hurt with one of them wide receivers.
Well, I tell you what, I'll tell you this.
Wide receivers is gonna make it that you do not expect.
Injuries matter this year.
Yeah.
And Dave Canales said it. It also depends on who can play special teams. If one wide receiver is a carbon copy of another wide receiver, and this wide receiver can play special teams, and this guy can't, this guy may be the odd man out.
Yeah. Hey, Pickle.
Let's not forget, you could. How many of us would be surprised if Dan come the end of preseason he trades somebody? Just
ooh.
Hey,
and Coker, you know I love you, brother, but here's the point. You've been injured a lot in OTAs and minicamp. You need to get your body ready for training camp.
Yeah, bro, that shit matters.
That's just
Pickle.
I'm trying to tell everybody hyped up on Coker, like, bro. I don't know.
I like what Coker did, but I've seen 1 year wonders come and go. That's why I gotta see more than 1 year.
Hey, I just want to let you know I traded for Jalen Coker in my fantasy league. He better fucking make this team.
It's over now, man. You know that.
Hey, I think people. I want to let people know real quick, though. Seriously, I think a lot of people don't remember that Renfro used to be that guy. Like straight up, like he like seriously, that he was that guy for the Raiders. He was really that dude. And without, if we can even get a shell of himself when he was with Oakland in his prime, yeah, he's gonna make the roster, y'all. He will make the roster.
Hey, hold up, boys. Hold up, boys. Hold up, boys.
Hold on, right quick.
Hold on,
right quick, Jay. Yeah.
Hold on one minute. Wait, hold on 1 minute. Let me just introduce somebody into the show, and I'm gonna make sure everybody gets heard. Let me welcome in Alex from the Kitty Lit Zio podcast. Alex, what's up, bro? How are you, man?
Oh man, I'm so good. I'm so glad it's still going. If there's ever a day I needed this, it's today, man. I'm just need a break from the headache of the world and talk football.
Oh, dude, the free for all is here. Right when you need it, bro. Hey, jump in on this conversation.
Let me say what's up to my guy Alex first, bro. What's going on, bro?
What's up, man? I'm so happy to be. I really am so happy. I'm so glad you do this, Cody, man. Because I need it today.
I know, man. Yeah, man. Let the Friday free for all be the perfect distraction from all the madness in the world. Brother,
there we go, baby.
Let me have you jump in on the conversation. How many wide receivers do the Carolina Panthers carry, and who are those wide receivers?
Oh, dude, this is
Come on, God. It's a free for all, bro. Let's go.
All right. So what background? Dallas usually carries 5. Like he just does. But he also said that it's going to be between ETN, right, and Horn or whoever is going to be the returner. So the returner is kind of like the pivot point, I guess. So if Horton's the returner, then it'll be 6, right? Or if George would be 6, or Renfro is going to be 6. You know, that kind of thing. If not, it'll be 5. So that's actually kind of easier than I thought. But who it is?
Well, wait a minute. Time out, Alex. Are you saying that Horn won't make the roster?
No, personally, I think he will. But I think what Canales said is he usually carries 5. He almost always carries 5. Because like Blackshear was a returner, and you know if the running back is a returner, he'll carry 5 wide receivers, and that extra guy will be a running back.
But last year they carried 7.
Well, wait a minute.
Then they played 7, but like Coker didn't make the original team. He didn't make the original roster.
Nah, they had to come back and get him.
Yeah. They stayed at 6 and then got 7.
Yeah, and we let that other receiver go. They went to the Ravens.
It was I assume was on. It was XL. It was Thielen. It was Moore. It was God, man, I can't believe I'm doing this right now. I wasn't expecting to do this.
They elevated Tompkins like 7 from shit like that, and he stayed on the roster.
Well, Alex, if you want to take a second to think about it, we can come back to you.
No, but in general, I if I just have to give an immediate quick reaction, because I actually kind of love to get the immediate reaction, because if I think about it, it'll be way off. You got to go with the 2 second-year guys. You got to go with T-Mac. You got to go with Thielen. Obviously, Moore's off the roster. He's gone, man. He ain't gonna be there. I got Horn making it just because the wow. And then I'm sorry, it's a youth movement. And then that's that last spot. That's the one, man. And right now it's looking like Renfro.
Yes, thank you.
I just found out the after preseason. Excuse me, on the final cuts. The wide receiver roster of the Panthers was Dante Johnson, Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, David Moore, and Jonathan Mingo. That was your list. Now,
hey, Deontay Johnson. That's a name I would like to forget real quick.
Right.
I already forgot it.
He was good, man. I don't care what nobody say. That
No, he was good. He just has issues, man. And honestly, prayers up to that guy because I still don't think he's right, and I hope he gets somebody to talk to him because he got issues.
He wanted his money. He just went
got
about
that
it.
AB shit going on.
Hey, let me Lux, man, you still with me? I didn't mean to cut you off, brother. Was there something you wanted to say? Lux, man, we got you, bro. You're muted. All right, I'm gonna put you in the background for a minute, brother. Well, hold up, Echo. One more person. Now let's try this one more time. We got Anthony back in the building. Ant,
Let's go, Ant.
What's up, boys? It's been a minute. How y'all doing?
Yes, sir.
Doing good, Ant. How about you?
Happy to have you back, brother.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right, man.
Yeah, man. How you living, dude?
Yeah, good, man. I just thought I'd hop on for a bit. I'm on the highway right now, but you know,
man.
I wanted to say what was up to you guys. So.
Yeah, man. Hey, tell me, how many wide receivers do the Panthers keep on the roster, and who do you think those players will be?
So I mean, I think they'll keep 6. I think it's going to be obviously T-Mac. I really think Jimmy Horn is going to be here for the long haul. I really do. I don't think David Moore makes the roster. I know some fans liked what he did last year, but I think he's kind of average. I think he's kind of mid. Like he was all right. So I'd say T-Mac, Horn, Thielen, Legette. How many is that? 4. And then Coker and oh shit. Wait, is there? Am I missing? It feels like we have like 13 receivers on right now.
I'm gonna give you a hint. He's a Clemson Tiger.
Oh yeah, Renfro. Yeah. Renfro.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, I think I'll make the roster. But so for me, wait. So I said, hold on. I'm trying to think this out.
Yeah, that would be 6 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got 6.
Yeah, those 6.
Okay.
Those 6.
Okay. Not bad.
Real fast, because I jumped on late. Has anybody talked about Kobe Hudson?
No, not yet.
No.
No,
okay.
go ahead.
I'm just wondering because I've not been following this week like I usually follow. I've got a ton of shit going on, but I've been hearing rumblings about him looking good. So if anybody has any information on it, I'd love for them.
I've heard the same. I've heard he's had some really good catches in camp. So I've heard the same. Him and Jacoby George both.
Right, and granted, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, Jake, but you know we got to remember when we hear these about OTAs, they're in shorts. And if the corner can't do pressure, if I mean, let's be face it, the quarterbacks know they're not going to get hit, so they're not sweating a lot. That's why when you have the joint practices, it's going to mean a lot more than practicing against your own teammates. They're not going to be in shorts then. They're not going to be in T-shirts. When training camp's going to mean something this year, folks. And it's a damn right shame we don't get to go to training camp and watch.
Damn shame.
I know, man.
It is what it is,
I
man.
know.
But, you know, but it's going to be more important. And listen, what Twan said earlier, it wouldn't shock me if some of these cats squeeze out. Because if you got a young guy, I'm going to just say Kobe Hudson, Jacoby George. If they're exploding on the scene and they look phenomenal, you can't keep an old guy and cut them and hope like hell you can make it.
Yeah.
We got lucky that Jalen Coker squeezed through practice.
But
We also got lucky that Cade Mays was sitting on a practice squad that we could go get him.
Yeah.
That's the fact of it. You
No,
know?
you're right. A lot of
We got
those.
lucky.
That damn people
We may not get lucky again.
We really lucked into a lot of that too.
Yeah.
Jalen Coker, Cade Mays. Hey, how about this? The fact that Brady Christensen didn't get picked up anywhere else, and that we were able to still sign him to come back to this team. And by the way, I feel like Kyle probably knows where I'm going. They were Joe Person, or was it Mike K, was saying that this regime, they're playing Brady Christensen way more on the outside at offensive tackle than they are on the interior. And I love that, man. When you have a big dude with the type of athleticism that Brady Christensen does, you're almost letting it go to waste by putting him on the inside like that.
I also wanted to just shout out.
I would disagree, Cody.
Shout out West Texas Justin. He says he's about to get ready for work. Hey, man, keep pounding, bro.
Keep pounding, West.
Justin.
Appreciate
Hey, man,
you being on, brother.
Cole, go on that, man.
My fault. I do like Brady on the inside, but the problem is I like K. Mays better at the center. But I think Brady Christian is a solid inside player, probably better there as an outsider simply because he can get downfield in the run game and get to the linebackers. I think he's a good run blocker.
Hey, how about this? Having him on your team is a good problem to have because it's a quality.
Yeah, and I mean he can move there in emergency situations.
I think he's our.
Justin just said some shit. Justin D. Young in the chat just said some shit. He said Brady Christensen may explain why Moton's not extended already, and that's a fucking. That's
Alex was talking about us getting younger right there.
This training camp, this preseason, I want to see Brady Christensen on that right side.
Yes, sir.
I think he's our best swing tackle.
Because if
I
not,
think
let's go.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jay. The other guy, Newman, I wouldn't shock me if he don't make the roster.
Josh Neiman.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Yeah, he didn't look good last year.
I assumed he was out of here, but that's just
if Brady's a good swing tackle, and he can play that swing tackle, then you're going into an active preseason game where you have your 5 starters. That includes Cade Mays, and you have a guy who can play guard or center, Austin Corbett, unless he's hurt. Then you also got Brady Christensen can swap either one. You're only going in with 7 offensive linemen.
Yeah.
And active in a game. And you're set there. Now, again, I have thoughts. If we have some really good depth, if we find out we have good depth, don't be shocked if Corbett isn't trained.
Yeah.
So
if Christensen's swinging, man, we can
trade him tomorrow. But
you can trade Yosh. You can trade Yosh. I mean, Yosh has a.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a valuable contract.
Yeah. By the way, this is Kevin Kwanu racing Robert Hunt.
Let me see this. Well, they running slow as hell.
Well, they're offensive line.
Icky with the Jets.
I believe I can beat Icky. I might need to do afterward.
I want to say this, Cody.
Yeah, man.
So listen. So listen. You remember when I said when we first discussed it before, we said this is a team you actually have to make the team. That's number one. That's why we're having this discussion right now. You actually have to make this team. You can't float by. You know what I'm saying? So let me tell you who's going to be our wide receivers. It's going to be T-Mac, Leggett, Thielen. Who's the other guaranteed?
Coker.
No, Coker ain't guaranteed. I'll put it to you like this.
Wow.
I'll say those 3 names. Now watch, and I guarantee you Alex is going to agree on this. Those guys are not, they don't got nothing to worry about. Those guys. You feel me? Because when I said you have to make this team, those other wide receivers have to prove it in practice and against those games that we play against other people. Those are going to be the remaining guys that are going to make this team. You're not just going to be like, we like Renfro and we're going to put him on the team, or we like Horn because we drafted him and he's going to be on the team. If they don't see it in practice, and if they don't, and like Pickle said, they ain't gonna judge until they put those pads on. And if they don't see it in these games that we play against other teams and in these preseason games, you ain't making the team, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, great point. Great point.
To that point, I have not heard Coker's name yet in
I did. You got to absolutely go out there and claim your spot. It is not going to be given to you.
Yeah, we thought Mingo was a definite. I mean, and traded him for fourth. I mean, you're completely right.
I'm trying to tell you, bro. You got to actually. Let me say it with me one more time, Cody. You have to actually make this team.
Yeah.
And so far in minicamp and OTAs, and you can't judge with a lot of minicamp OTAs. I keep cautioning you. But so far, Hunter Renfro's outplayed Coker because Coker's been hurt.
There you go.
Yep.
And that leads to the other wide receiver.
But remember, I also let me just say right now that I'm not gonna over-evaluate these OTAs because to me they are just that, right? Like if we're talking about if we're talking about this in training camp, yeah, maybe then it's a little bit of a different story. But right now, I'm not gonna freak out too much about it. Go ahead, Alex.
But Pickle makes a great point, is that Coker's hurt again. He's 23, 24 years old and already dealing with soft tissue injuries 2 years in a row. And it's not, I'm not worried yet, but I'm kind of worried. I mean, I'm kind of worried. Like,
ears are up.
I'm nervous.
So far,
this team, bro.
Them soft tissue injuries have bit the Panthers in the ass. So far, they're bound and determined that's not going to happen this year.
Let me tell you guys something else that you have to make a team too. And this is the shit that people don't see, the semantics that people don't see from the outside. Coaches want to know how well you're learning this playbook. They want to know if they have to repeat shit over to you over and over and over and over. I'm just talking about the wide receivers right now. And who gets it. And who knows where to be on the routes. And who's confused or whatever. All that shit matters. You can't just be like, well, maybe I'll watch some film, maybe I won't, or whatever. If you're a wide receiver, you should be fucking nervous.
Coker's making this roster.
Make this team, bro.
Dude, I'm with you. I think Coker's making the roster, but
respectfully,
it's fun talk.
Yeah, I would say respectfully, Swan, Coker's making this roster, brother.
No,
hey, bro. There are people. And I'm not saying that I'm one of them, and I'm not saying that they're wrong either.
Yeah.
That Coker played better at times last year and was more dependable hands than Xavier Legette was.
And it wasn't just a handful of fans saying that either, Cody.
Yeah, it was a lot of. There's a bunch of fans who still think and believe that. I'm very optimistic about the future of Jalen Coker. That's what I want to say.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Coker plays special teams. That's key. Other receivers. Let's ask ourselves: does he play? He plays special teams. We know Horn plays special teams.
Yeah.
Yep.
So does his special team ability? How do you compare that to the other guys? If you look on the depth chart and you say, okay, he's competing with David Moore and Hunter Renfrow. Strictly as a receiver, he outplays David Moore. And he's younger than David Moore. Hunter Renfrow, he's younger than him too. Hunter Renfrow also plays special teams, correct?
No.
I don't know about that.
So.
No, he's too older.
So Hunter has to make this on his wide receiver ability alone.
Right.
So
Correct.
He cancels out David Moore.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then you got a guy popped in. Let's say Jacoby George gets a chance on special teams and he runs a kickback for a touchdown or a punt, or Kobe Hudson does.
So let me tell you,
if
Jalen
Coker's
Coker
injuries drags out through training camp and the other young receivers outshine him,
Look at
he
Bryce
may
Young.
start the year on PUP.
Man, look
No.
fresh.
Hey man, let me tell you, he may not have been doing as much as everybody else, but he's not doing nothing.
I know y'all got the Coker maniacs out there, but if he ain't healthy when the season,
Cokehead.
Well, I mean,
Cokehead. Let's go. Cokehead.
Sideshow brings out a really good. He says,
he ain't
special
making this team
teams
if
is
he ain't
also
healthy.
more than returning kicks.
Yeah.
So it's special teams coverage. It's about if they put you on gunner, can you tackle?
Yeah.
Can you block? I mean, that's exactly what a special team wide receiver does.
You know what? But Renfro's gonna say this. All I do is get open. That's what the fuck I do.
Right.
Right.
Renfro is going to go directly on his wide receiver premise.
Right,
Exactly.
and he has to because he has to. But at the same time, that's great. But
yeah, I'm okay with that.
But if you have XL and you have T-Mac and you have Adam Thielen and you have a tight end, realistically speaking, is there room for a guy who just gets open? I mean, that's what the coaches are going to have to say. You know, I'm not saying he's good or bad or he's going to make it or not. I'm saying that's what they're going to say because in the end, if they only activate 4 wide receivers on game day, they only activate 4. You know, T-Mac's going. You know, XL's going. You know, Adam Thielen's going, and if Jimmy Horn's a returner, he's going.
Right.
So
I don't know. I mean, I just remember the clips of Adam Thielen going, "Yeah, man, Renfro was throwing me stuff."
I like him. Don't misunderstand that. I think in the end, because I wouldn't be surprised if he makes it. I'm not saying he won't by any means.
Yeah.
But like something Diesel Skill said earlier, if you're down to a point and you have to cut somebody because you want to add them to the practice squad,
right?
David Moore is going to be that guy. You're not cutting Jalen Coker and putting him on practice.
So hey, 2 things. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
I like what he says right here. I think ETN will be day 1 returner. I think him, ETN, and Jimmy Horn, because you have to have 2 returners. You have to have 2.
You have to.
I think those 2 are our 1 and 2, and I think they could be A and B. Either one could be that difference maker with that burst. I really, really do think so. I think that's more damning for Blackshear than it is for any other player on this roster.
Yeah,
by the way, this is Jalen Coker and Bryce Young. They've already got their own handshake. So yeah, Twan, I hear what you're saying. But yeah, Coker gonna make this team, bro.
If Coker is not healthy, he ain't making this team, bro.
But
he's not.
But I don't think
if he's not healthy.
I don't think
riches on a receiver.
But I don't think they put him on trade block either.
I don't think they're looking at one guy to do returns.
Jimmy Horn's not healthy right now.
Is going to be on kick returns, and I think one of them, maybe ETN is going to be on punt returns.
Yeah,
but
I
got a question for the whole panel. Did anybody in here have like an overly reaction to like Bryce Young throwing an interception during mini camp?
That's what
I know that there's fans. Well, the reason why I say that is there's fans out there.
Gotta figure out what you can and can't do.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather my quarterback throw an interception during mini camp than a regular season game.
In the game,
Hold up. But remember, if you're gonna hold interceptions against them, yesterday he threw 2 touchdowns in the back of the end zone to Xavier.
Yeah, he did.
So you have to give credit where credit's due also.
Right, and let's be real, and I'm going to sound like Twan here, but let's be real. Y'all, the folks criticizing a quarterback for throwing a pick in OTAs and minicamp.
Yeah, what are we doing?
That means that means that you don't want him to push the ball down the field, or that he's afraid.
Right.
I want him.
Like this is the time.
I want him to fucking give them shots at.
Right, this is when you're supposed to be doing that.
Oh.
Let's be real. In preseason, and these practices with joint teams, you're going to find out if this young wide receiver that looks great in minicamp can actually handle the real life receiver who's going to punch him when he gets off that line of scrimmage and go for broke instead of playing in shorts. The corner who looks great or safety who looks great in practice in minicamp, when he lines up against that guy in a regular season, we're going to see whether he can actually cover or whether they've been pretending he can cover. Because there's been a lot of great OTA guys. You can look out the history of the NFL. Guys look like superstars in OTAs. Come training camp, you realize they ain't got much.
All right, man. Hey, before we go any further, hey, man, look, it's been a minute since my boy has been on the show. But he decided today was the day for him to roll up and talk a little bit of that shit. We got the homie G baby back on the free for all. G baby, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's Gucci with my motherfucking dogs, man?
What up, G baby? How you living, bro?
Man, just surviving, living life. You guys know, just trying to fucking make it to the next day. You dig?
I dig it, bro. Hey, man, tell me, bro, how many wide receivers are the Panthers keeping, and who are those receivers, man? Tell me about it, bro.
Well, fuck, man. Hold on, man. I gotta say what's up to my dogs, man. It's been a fucking hot.
Yo,
what's up, Jake?
G baby.
Jake. Hey, I see Twan Dawn up in this.
What up, bro?
Nigga, man. Hey, I see you, Cole. What's Gucci with you, dog? OG Pickle,
up,
I
brother?
see you, dog. Hey,
What's
OG.
up, man?
My ears are everywhere.
You know how it is, man. It's off season. It's just BS. You know how it is. The real shit happens. And when it's week one, that's when the real shit happens.
Yeah. Hey, G baby, you might need to jump out and jump back in. Your reception's kind of dipping out on you, bro. You still there? I don't know if you're still there, man.
Justin's correct. He's got to do the full intro. The full intro. The boogie child, the whole thing. We need it all. to come back.
It's not like he barely here. He might have had a rough day today. You know how that working man go, man. You might need to take you.
He'll come back. He had to drop out.
Yeah.
I just want to say, I think it's cool that the Panthers have this problem where, like, us as fans can pick out a wide receiver and say, well, he's my favorite. Like, I really like Renfro.
Yes.
I want him to do good. That's what Cody says. Or for somebody like a G baby, he really likes Coker and say, well, he's my favorite. He's going to do really good. Or Jake to say, I really like XL. He's going to do good. Man, we ain't never had this problem. You got to remember the article that the professor did. Shout out to the flagship show. Professor put out an article saying like Ted Ginn is probably 5th or 6th best in Panthers history. And now this year we're squabbling over who's number 6 or who's number 7 on this wide receiver roster. It's about time, ain't it, Jake? Let's go.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
About damn time.
Let me tell y'all something real quick. C3, I'm joking when I said C3 is some witchcraft.
All right, here we go. I'm gone, y'all. I'm sorry.
Let me tell y'all why. Because earlier I was gonna say something to the T, right? And then Pickle cut in right before I got ready to do it and said everything from beginning to end. And I was like, okay, well, boom. I've been waiting almost 10 minutes to say exactly what these skills just said.
That's how I feel. Hey, that's how I feel every time that D Money, when he hits that logic, he be saying everything that I want to say. I'm like, oh well, go ahead and skip me.
I got nothing to say now. Shit. Because I was about to say, as much as we talking about this shit, this is a good problem. Hey, look, man, it's gonna be funny for people to have they choices, but man, this is a great problem.
Yeah, we can't be looking at this and being like we were last year, where we're like, okay, well, we have 5 guys that we think we're pretty sure on, but there's also like all these scrubs. Who's gonna make the last spot? Like who's gonna push for this shit? At least we got a bunch of good receivers. Every one of them could be great, and we don't know.
I think this is the deepest we've ever been in history at the wide receiver. Yeah. And I know that's rough to say, but I mean, I'm honestly about that. I think this is the deepest that we've ever been at wide receiver.
Hold on, bro.
And O-line too. But listen, the question remains is this though, Cody. We're talking about wide receivers and Diesel skills and every Pickle and everybody. We're talking about wide receivers and the great problem we have with wide receivers. But Canales has gone on record many times saying, I want to run the ball most of the time.
Yeah.
So that could affect who the hell makes the team too. If he's being truthful about it, he told us that shit last year, but he didn't really do it. But now we got 3,000-yard backs back there and an up and comer and and the kid we just picked up from Georgia, he's going to learn and do.
Trevor Etienne. Yep.
Bro, I'm trying to I got a bunch of shit going on in my head and these fractions and these configurations, and I'm just like, man, look, I'm just gonna sit back and watch the show, man, to see how it all breaks down.
Yeah,
because
man.
That's a real issue. If Canales is saying, I want to run the ball a ton, and then we might not have as many wide receivers as we think.
But I don't listen. Canales can talk all the hell he wants, but proof's in the pudding. And so far,
hey,
listen, I hope we do run like hell. But at the same time, Canales does it different from what John Fox or even Rob Szczecinski or Mike Shula did. Okay, he spreads it out and runs it. So in that format, you need receivers who can run block. And right now, if I had to look at this list of receivers and say who makes it because they can run block better,
you got to throw even more back in there. Then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but
David
Moore. But okay, let's throw David Moore in as a slot, right? Let's just throw him in there as a slot. Who are you going to line up across from David Moore?
Shit, I don't know.
You're not lining one of your best corners up.
No,
there.
you're going to put
You don't
a
mean
nickel or a linebacker against him.
I mean, he doesn't mean a lot to you because 90% of the time, Bryce ain't going to look to David Moore to throw that ball.
Yeah, man.
Now, if you line up, let's just say Hunter Renfrow. Now, that defensive coach might say, "Now wait a minute, this dude know how to play football. Tell him out, yo. Put that other dude. Hey, we're my regular starting nickel linebacker. Get your ass out there." That's what he's going to say.
Yeah, let me
Right.
Let me further this conversation along a little bit. We've had a pretty full discussion about wide receiver, but some news that broke that I don't think we got a chance to fully talk about on the free for all was Jaire Alexander being released by the Green Bay Packers. Now, Jaire has had a bit of an injury history for a while. Is it Jaire or Jaire?
Jaire.
Okay. I thought
Let it be.
Yes,
I like the way you said, Cody. Keep saying the way you said. I like the way you said.
It's not a soft J like Yogi.
So,
like Yogis.
One of the things that I've been wondering, and then Dave Canales talked about it a little bit too, is their willingness to add to the defensive back room. My question is, do you think that this is a move for the Carolina Panthers to make, and would they make this move? But the first person I'm going to let answer that, I'm going to welcome to the show my dog from Black Cat Panther Podcast. We got Poppin' in the building. Pop, what's up, bro?
Yo, what's up with everybody? How
What's
everybody
up, bro?
doing here on the panel? I say it like this. I got to go through every single name. What's up with y'all, though?
Chilling, brother. Hey, how you feel about Jaire Alexander? Should that be something that the Panthers should consider?
So I will agree and say that I know they've been raving about Charles Smith-Wade.
Yes.
But I'm not completely sold. I went and looked at some tape. And I gotta say that I also seen Mr. He himself, Michael Jackson, and Charles Smith-Wade both getting burnt at a lot more than I wanted to see. So would it be nice for us to get Jaire Alexander? Yes, but I'll have to say no. I don't want to get another injury-prone cornerback. I know his numbers are amazing.
Ooh, okay.
We remember, guys, we were saying this just a year ago, 2 years ago exactly, about our Pro Bowler, J.C. Horn. I don't want a light-skinned J.C. Horn. I mean, at that time, I'll call him J.C. Torn. So, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know people will come up with their kind of nicknames talking about, I mean, not nicknames, but excuses saying, oh, he's just doing it because he was hurt at what they did to him. And he just, like, this man's not faking his injuries, guys. Like, this man has been hurt. So I'm good on him.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pop. I felt like I was in the conversation we had on our little group. I felt like I was alone at times when I had my opinion on that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with both of you guys too, man. I mean, you know, the Carolina Panthers, like, I'm sure Pop, you agree with this. We don't have look, man. Y'all see what we got a movement going on over here now. Okay, we don't have to pick up guys, injured guys. We just don't have to do that no more. We don't have to take them damn chances.
Yeah. And no offense, no offense at all, and nobody take this offensively. I would rather deal with the young and dumb who may get smarter than the old and close to cripple who can't move, right? Because they've had too many injuries to one knee. Yeah. And at the same time, you're giving them an exorbitant contract because of their experience.
Yeah, fuck that.
I mean, we've been down that road before. We absolutely, as a team, been down that road where you take an old guy who's partly crippled and he spends most of his time in the injury room, and then later on, a young guy that you've developed a little bit gets drifted off into another team in a year, and he becomes a star.
I got a question. I got a question to the whole panel.
Captain Mutterland and many others.
Go ahead, Jay.
Who is below Charles Smith-Wade on the roster right now, currently?
Bartholomew.
Who? Is
Let
me fire you back at you, Jake, though, because I know where you're going with this, my friend. Do you really, truly think a Jaire Alexander is going to come on this team and be a fourth corner backup to Charles Smith-Wade as a nickel?
I think he'll end up being a starter on this team. And I don't think it's going to cost as much as you think it's going to cost, because of the very reason that a lot of y'all don't want him on this team is because of his injury history, right? Well, for that simple fact,
money.
He's going to get money. He's going to get money, but it's not going to be as much as he wants it to be.
Right now we have Shamar Bartholomew. We have Akeem Evans. We have MJ Devonshire. So, yeah, the depth is not great on this team right now.
Yeah, to us, but I think this team likes these guys better than we do. And I heard a couple of reporters say that. They're not lying to us fans. We've looked at that all offseason, said, God, that's atrocious. And the team doesn't seem all that worried about it. But, I mean, you still have different ways of getting other guys if you need them. But I listen, if it's me, I'm going to sign somebody as better depth. I just am. But
I think we are better. I'll be honest with you. I think we're better as a team with Jaire Alexander on this team. I'm just going to be honest with you. Even with his injury history, I think we're better as a team. With him.
I think his injury issue is one of the reasons why I don't think he's got much left in the tank. And I think the Packers realized that they wasn't going to overpay for a guy who doesn't have a lot left in the tank, and the injuries have caused him to be slower. That's just how that works.
So let me say this.
The next team that signs him is going to realize he was a bust.
Let me say this, and then I'll let Diesel Skills go. I believe there was even some rumors that Green Bay didn't even believe that he was always as hurt as he said he was. So that he had some possibilities for him to go out there and play, but Jaire just wasn't willing to risk further injury or more injury, and that's always subjective. But I did want to add that because I do believe that was a part of the narrative. Go ahead, Deez.
So I understand this was a main topic for the C3 Legion Spaces Monday at 6:30 on the X app. If you'd like to join this conversation, you can be a part of it next week on Monday. So this is what we covered in detail for almost 2 hours. We talked about this and Pratt joining this team. And I understand where Panthers fans are coming from. What it is the fact that the Carolina Panthers are believing in talent that is unproven for a lot of ways. Okay. Richardson's unproven in a lot of ways. Charles Smith-Wade is unproven in a lot of ways. And Panthers fans are looking for a guy that can come and add to this roster that is proven. proven. Alexander with 2 Pro Bowls. A lot of fans of the Panthers believe in him and bringing him in here. But the reason he got cut from the Packers is because of a barrage of injuries. I think he had 3 just in 2023 by itself. Okay, so I don't know that would be the best thing to do. If he wanted to come in on a team-friendly deal, maybe we could fit him in somewhere. But to Pickle's point, does he want to be number 3 or 4 on the roster? Probably not. It depends on how much they believe in the talent that's already back there. And it seems like they really do believe, like even somebody in the chat said Morig was going to take some snaps at middle linebacker. And it feels like I saw other reporting for Morig taking snaps at big nickel and then running a different safety back there. So they're looking to move some guys around, and Ransom's another guy. Ransom we drafted this year, and he's unproven. So we just don't know what to expect from these guys in the secondary. And Panthers fans are looking for anything out there that could add to the room. And I understand where it's coming from, but it may be best in this situation just to let our guys that we have develop in a lot of ways. Because if we find a diamond in the rough, Richardson becomes to be a good starter. Smith Wade is making plays left and right. We've had Morig with an interception this week during minicamp. I mean, these guys can really change that secondary by making plays and become those diamonds in the rough. And then we don't need to look outside of this team and sign players to bigger contracts that have minimal production or minimal playing time. So it may be best for us moving forward just to go with this younger group and develop what we have.
Yeah, so hey man, let me
You've
see.
lost your damn mind, bro.
G baby in the building. What's up, G?
You've lost your goddamn mind, D's.
Dang, G. Why you gotta
Tell me about it.
You're trying to tell me Jaire Alexander would come in right now on this football team and be number 3 or 4 on the depth chart?
He's a starter. He's a starter, G baby.
Yeah, no, not for us. He
You
ain't.
have lost
He
your
ain't been a
damn
starter
mind,
in 3 years.
I hate to tell y'all, he's starting over Mike Jackson tomorrow if he came over here. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about.
I mean, shit, I wouldn't want to play in with Wisconsin or Milwaukee, wherever the hell they play out there in
What
the
they do?
cold
That's
weather
where he
and
was getting
shit.
his money.
Hey, you know what? He's a professional
G.
athlete. Plenty of athletes take games off if they don't want to fucking play, bro. If they're not in it,
CMC.
Exactly. Christian McCaffrey did it. Christian McCaffrey did it.
And that's why his ass had to go.
He's capturing the 49ers, trying to figure out what they're doing.
Listen, y'all. This team needs Jaire Alexander. You lost your damn mind.
No, the fuck we don't.
Otherwise.
No, we don't.
No,
We
we
don't
don't.
need an
We don't
overrated.
need no damn.
Hey, G baby, I'm gonna need you to speak up a little bit louder.
Shut the hell up, Jake.
Alexander's playing history looks the same as
Don't
those.
let me get your dogs on you.
Alexander's playing history looks the same as those hats they wear in Green Bay. It's got holes all in it. He takes a lot of time off.
I can't believe you guys are going to come in here and not let the 704 native come back home. Are you shitting me? You don't think he want to come back home?
I mean, like I'm saying, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind.
All we've had this past decade is a bunch of bags of shit.
Didn't he get in trouble for a coin flip against us?
Yeah.
He made himself an honorary captain, is what he did because he's playing against us.
Bingo. That's it.
Yeah, and he got fined. He got fined for it, didn't he? Whoopie do.
But this is my thing, G baby. I wouldn't mind having Jaire.
One at a time, let pop go. One at a time, let pop go. Let pop go.
Y'all are tripping if you think Mike Jackson's better.
No, Mike Jackson's not better. He's not, and
that's Dan Morgan's worst move this offseason was oversigning fucking Mike Jackson. He should have been a little.
They didn't pay him a lot of money.
To see
they didn't overpay him.
What happened with Dalen Ramsey?
They didn't. G baby, they didn't overpay him.
That's what he should have done.
Yeah, they didn't pay him that much.
G baby, they didn't overpay him, and I agree. I would love to have Jaire Alexander. The problem is he can't stay out the hospital.
There you go.
I got some strong feelings about this one.
Y'all talking about Jaire Alexander, who played great for 1 year. 1 year.
Hey,
you know who played good? He didn't play that good before, and he ain't played that good since.
Hey, Pickle, you know who else?
JC Horn played.
Go ahead, Jack.
I was about to get that. I was about to get that point. Hey, we heard the same thing about JC Horn though. He couldn't stay healthy, right?
Well,
he couldn't stay healthy.
JC Horn was one of ours.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
Jaire came over here. He was
Jaire Alexander is 28. So that's the difference.
Yep, he's older.
I kept hearing. I kept hearing that Jonathan Brooks still has hope with his injuries. I should be able to hear the same thing about Jaire Alexander's injuries.
Can I just say this one more time, man? Listen, look. In our history, how well have we done when we go and get a guy who has injury histories that come to the Carolina Panthers? Tell me who came over here and exploded.
I'll wait on that one.
What are you guys going to
Thielen,
say? I don't.
Play devil's advocate. I agree with you. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
That's a good point.
I don't give a damn if your ass is from North Carolina or Charlotte. If you ain't got the skills, we don't want your ass over here no more. We got to change the culture with the Carolina Panthers, bro. Raleigh, Durham, whatever. Look, I don't care if you homegrown. You should just get a job on the team because that's where you from. And you ain't good. That man played 7 games last year. He played 7 games the year before. I totally agree with these little skills, bro. Look, we don't have to. The team we got now, we don't have to get in bed with injured players no more, bro. We don't have to. Why do y'all want to do it? Because he's a big name and it'll be cool for him to be on the team? He's not consistent. Fuck that.
Hold on. But hold on, Twan. You said that. Hold on. He brought in skills, right? All right. So his skills ain't in question. Jaire Alexander's skills is not in question, correct? It's just his injury history. His skills. Look, there's nobody on this panel right now that can say that Jaire Alexander healthy is not a great player because damn if he ain't. Damn if he ain't.
Fucking three-corner in the league.
I'm just saying, I'm talking about his health. I'm talking about his health.
That eliminates how talented
he is. He's a baller.
It don't mean a jack shit how talented he is.
Just told you. He had one great year.
He had one great year. That's it.
Hey, let me
Hold on. Twan, this is
Baby
coming
and
from
Kyle.
fucking Twan. Twan begged for us to fucking go get fucking T. Higgins, and T. Higgins is always injured. He's only.
I never wanted T. Higgins. Hold on, he got me mixed up with somebody else.
I never wanted T. Higgins. I never wanted T. Higgins.
I never ever said T. Higgins'
All right,
name.
let me bring in Kyle. Go ahead, Kyle.
That was Cody or somebody else.
My bad, guys. My computer fucked up and I had to drop out. Get on my
Welcome back, brother.
Yeah, well, I mean, about this Jaire shit, like, look, he is better than Shao Smith-Wade. He is better than Shamar Bartholomew. He's better than all these motherfuckers. But it puts into question this. It puts him in the same category that CMC was in. He's good when he's healthy, but he doesn't play more games than he sits. So is it worth the risk? It's more of a money thing than it is a fit thing because he could be better than every corner we had. If he doesn't play more games than he sits, it doesn't matter.
How risky though? Like
If he's
seriously
healthy,
though,
he's
how
better than
risky?
fucking J.C. Horner, and it ain't even fucking nice night.
On a 1 year deal, though, how risky is it really though?
What?
Wait, let me go. Let me go to G Baby. Hold on, let me go to G Baby.
Go back, G Baby.
Say what you were saying.
Did you what he just said?
G Baby, what did you just say, bro?
About Jaire?
Yeah.
J.C. Horn.
When healthy,
Yeah,
he's a fucking
him been better than J.C. Horn.
corner in the league. That's
But when
better
is he
than
healthy,
fucking J.C. Horn.
You lost your damn mind.
Man, he's lost it.
How about this, G-Baby? That man, listen, G-Baby, I'll tell you this. This is another scenario. I'm going to try to swing you over, right? The money that he's going to ask and require for, because he's not taking a 1 year deal because he could have did that in Green Bay, which they offered him that.
But he wanted out of Green Bay for years, though. Respectfully,
he didn't want to stay in Green Bay. G. He didn't want to be there no more.
I don't understand how you don't want to be somewhere when you're a millionaire. But anyway, and you're going to the playoffs. Kills me. But anyway,
You can say my
wham.
That's facts,
We're
Bob.
winning, and I'm getting millions of dollars. Shut up. Number 2, G Baby, you should be swaying over this way because that's money taken out of your beloved Bryce Young.
Nah, man, I ain't worried about Bryce, man. That's Tepper's boy. Bryce gonna get
No.
either way, man.
G Baby, think logically. That's more money coming out of Bryce Young's pocket. Think about what I'm saying.
You buy the
Listen,
thing?
I'm still bringing Jaire the fuck to Carolina, dog. You guys are tripping.
It's high.
Get Jaire here.
All right.
Jaire needs to be in Carolina, G.
Man, y'all, this shit. You guys still want hype picks. Y'all still on the hype train, bro. Look, D just told you, when are we going to start developing our own players?
G Baby says it all the time. Develop through the draft. Develop through the draft. Don't bring in these players. And if I did bring them in, if I did, it would be $6 million with $5 million in incentives. It's simple. Brent
We just
on this team at DB.
No, I don't want him on this team. You
Yeah.
know what? With all due respect, on a 1-year deal with $6 million and $5 million incentives is overpayment for a guy who only played 7 games out of 17.
We just gave, look, as big as I am on J.C. Horn, we just gave J.C. Horn a 4-year deal over $100 million, and he's only been healthy more than 14 games 1 year, and it was last year when he made the Pro Bowl.
Overpaid.
Jake, stay right there, Jake. Stay right there, Jake.
He was homegrown. He just made the Pro Bowl.
So Jake, why would you do that twice? You just open up the door.
Because I tell you why. Because I'm not giving Jaire Alexander a multi-year contract. I'm giving him a 1-year rental to make him a proven deal.
He's not
He didn't want a 1-year deal because he was taking Greensboro.
We don't know what he wants right now.
No, he could have kept that. He could have got that in Green Bay. That's why he didn't want to stay with them.
He's been wanting out of Green Bay.
Listen. I think y'all getting a little too hype because any team right now, especially that needs a corner, will give him a 1-year deal and millions of dollars. That's not the problem. The problem is if that was his issue, he would have been signed somewhere. There's plenty of teams that need corners. He's not signing for a 1-year deal to maybe late, where they're like, okay, ain't nobody picking him up. He wants a contract somewhere. He's 28 years old. Not for long in the NFL, guys. You're trying to get that last big contract.
Yeah, before y'all go.
He wants to come back home, Pop. Let him
Before y'all
He wants to come home.
It was that time, folks. Let me ask y'all this. Listen, for me personally, I would love to have Jaire here, but if we don't end up bringing Jaire Alexander here to the Panthers, I think it's because they trust this dude, bro. Chow, Smith, Wade. This organization has liked him for a long time, and J.C. Horn's already ranting and raving about how good he looks. So is it possible that the presence of Chow, Smith, and Wade is what could prevent Jaire Alexander from being here?
Listen, Cody, let me ask you a question. Who drafted Chow, Smith, Wade?
Dan Morgan.
That's who the fuck we go with.
How long ago was
Develop your own players.
Ask me again.
How long did they draft Jaire Alexander?
2020?
No, 2018. He's a 7-year vet.
Oh, okay.
He's a 7-year vet, and he's in his 7 years. He's made 2 years completely healthy.
I'm fucking with Shao, bro.
2 years.
Homegrown. Develop your own.
Right. And now, hey, listen. He's been there 7 years, y'all. He's already had his second contract, and he didn't live up to it.
Hey.
And Green Bay said if we'll give you a chance to just a 1 year, $15 million flat, and we'll see what happens. And he said, no, I want more money than that. Okay. When he was released, Carolina called and said, how much is he wanting? Agent told him, he said, thank you very much. He said, he's from Charlotte now. He said, well, that's nice. And they hung up. Since then, he's been to the Raiders and he's been to the Rams. And he's expected to visit the Ravens again. Okay? That's just fact of it. Okay?
So he ain't getting what he wants.
He don't want to go to Carolina. If he comes to Carolina, it's because everybody else turned his funky ass down.
Yeah. Hey, let me let Cole in on the convo. Cole, what's up, bro? What you thinking, man?
I'm breaking up. My fault. What's position we're talking about, Cody? My fault.
No, Jaire Alexander.
I'm in the minority. Hell yeah, I'm taking Jaire Alexander over here. Absolutely.
Let's go.
You know how I am. I'm
Cole.
salt on my shit. If I'm in the minority, that's fine. You ain't gonna sit here and sell me on Mike Jackson and fucking chicken chow mein for no 17 games, Cody. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that.
Chicken chow mein, bro.
If you think a Jaire Alexander is going to stay healthy,
A healthy one would put us in the playoffs. A healthy Jaire Alexander.
Yes, he would. Hey, Pickle. Yes, he would, Pickle. Yes, he would.
Jaire Alexander will not stay healthy for 10 games.
Hey, look, I'm not even going to yell. I got to get my boy Cole on that one real quick. Hey, Cole, bring your ass back over here. Hey,
I'm in the car.
Get him, Cole.
I'm all ears.
Cole,
Get him, Cole.
But Cole, check this out. If I'm Michael Jackson, right? Like, you can hate on me all you want to. Guess what? I'm always available.
He is there. Availability is key.
I'm always available.
Always.
I got a question. I got a question for the whole panel.
I don't play games and quit.
I'm gonna let Jesus go be the first to answer Jake's question. Go ahead, Jake.
What position group are we the thinnest at? Go ahead, Deez.
Linebacker.
Yeah, you're muted, Deez.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, Pop. I'm sick of that shit too.
No, you're right. You could say linebacker. It depends on what Roseboom does, especially there, and then you could say corner after that. So no, you're not wrong. We need more people there, and I think if Alexander wants to sign, a team-friendly deal and come here, that's totally cool. And I understand where Panthers fans are coming from, feeling like he'll upgrade the room because in a lot of ways he will, if healthy. But I think it's the same discussion that we had with the Cade Mays and the Austin Corbett at center. I think if you start Alexander or if you start Corbett, we're going to end up in the same place. We're going to end up with the backup, Mike Jackson, playing at the end of the season. We're going to end up with Cade Mays starting at the end of the season. It all ends up in the same place. These guys haven't stayed healthy for years. They've proven that they're not in position to do so. And to think that this year is going to be different and they're going to be super healthy is just kind of crazy to me. But if he wants to sign a team-friendly deal and upgrade this room, I think that's perfectly fine. Why not?
Yeah. If he don't, fuck him.
Can I ask everybody a question? A serious question. And listen, it means no disrespect. Not everybody can answer this in an honest opinion. How many here go grocery shopping on a regular basis?
I do.
All right. So let me ask you,
a little bit today.
do you go grocery shopping hungry?
Never.
Why not?
Because I buy dumb shit.
Yeah, you buy
I'll be hungry.
So
I'll be hungry.
Why go to the grocery store hungry
Kyle
on
said,
clearance
dumb
and
shit.
buy this guy on clearance that
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Pickle.
Dumb shit.
Pickle. I want to win.
Because it's better than the shit we got. Because it's better than the shit we got at home. That's why we.
I want to win, Pickle. I'm tired of losing.
You know what? Yeah, Jake.
Jaire's dumb shit.
You said that all off season.
Hey, but clearly.
Hey, this only works some of the time.
Organization, and they don't bring him in.
Hey, Pickle.
Monday night, shout out to our spaces. Y'all go listen to it. We're going to do it again Monday. Y'all screamed again. You wanted that linebacker, didn't you? What was his name, Deez? They wanted that
Wilson.
linebacker. Where did he sign? He signed with the Raiders.
Pop.
Why? Because Pickle told you he wasn't coming here just because you wanted. Ed's going to go get it.
Yeah. Jaire Alexander is a great toy with some bullshit ass big lock batteries inside.
I want to win, damn it.
I want to win. If I see Chow Main's tape look like last year.
Listen, the batteries are gonna run out at some point, man. And then you just
He's the remote control car that you can't ever get the controller to work right.
That's
right.
The biggest issue right
You gotta hit it upside the head one time and get it to work.
If CJ Henderson, hold on. If CJ Henderson get a contract with us, by God, Jaire Alexander can get a contract.
Are you telling us, y'all?
That was dumb shit.
I believe I just heard Jake.
Federer.
I believe he's just said he missed Scott Federer, right?
No, I did not say that. You did not hear that. That's them dogs. That's your dogs barking, Pickle. Shut the hell up.
You just said.
That's what he did. He said it.
TJ Anderson and never signed
hard
TJ
drugs
Anderson.
if you
When
want that.
Ken got hired and dated him and said, CJ Henderson,
Kyle.
you see that door? March your fucking ass out of it.
That sounds like a Tennessee fan.
You damn
The
right.
biggest problem we got right now is not Jaire
He's
Alexander.
won a national title. I can't say that a lot about your team.
Yeah, man.
All right, go ahead, Pop. Go ahead, Pop.
The biggest problem that we have right now is
No
not
ice cream for
Jaire
you.
Alexander. It's a player that's already on the team that ain't signed his contract yet. That's the bigger problem. That's a big problem. While we wishing and hoping that somebody else who's broken up, we got a person that ain't even played a single snap in the NFL yet, and they ain't signed their contract yet.
Wait, who ain't signed
That's
yet?
the real question.
I mean, I'm not really worried about Nick Skyward not signing the contract. I feel like it's going to be done. It's not about to be no Shamar Stewart type of bullshit. I tell you that much.
Leaving camp and shit.
Here's the problem.
Ain't gonna be like that.
You're there every day. You at the building. I'm sure there's a pen in there with some ink in it. What is the issue that you can't sign your contract?
At least he's showing up for practice and stuff. He's not sitting out or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
If he was sitting down, it'd be a different story.
Yeah, but wait a minute.
He needs to go ahead and sign, though. I feel that.
No, but I do want to go back to Jack's original question. What is the thinnest position group on this team? We heard from D's.
I'd say safety.
Gotta be linebacker.
Hey, safety. Alex, what say you, man? What is the
safety's
thinnest?
straight.
What's the thinnest position group on this team?
Is it though?
I think safety straight for right now.
First of all, I'm gonna ruin this. I'm gonna ruin this amazing energy that's going on in this conversation because it really is. It's
Give it
great.
to us, Alex. Give it to us.
I would say the thinnest position is secondary in quarterback room and in the safety room, and we know that because he said it. Morgan said it. Morgan literally has said that he's going to be addressing those rooms, especially safety. And we did it. When people talk, listen, right? We didn't draft a cornerback. Like whatever it is, whatever we think about anything, they got a plan. They got a plan for corner. We can't just like assume that they did this great draft and that they just forgot about corner. Like there's a plan that's going to happen, in my opinion. But that's all I kind of really want to say. So I'm really enjoying the rest of the conversation.
Great answer.
The friendly banter.
Have a beer and just enjoy it.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
They gotta have a plan.
Can I tell you what the thinnest room?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
I want y'all to hear me right. Quarterback.
You don't believe in the Red Rocket.
That quarterback is trash.
Man, I'm going to jump in. Swan is coming out with some really thought-provoking stuff, and I really, really enjoy it. Just letting throw that out there. I don't agree with everything, but I think it's very cool and thought-provoking.
Look, I'm gonna give G-Baby his credit. Look, I trust Bryce Young going into next year, but nothing behind him. Nothing.
Yeah, that's a next year problem though, Twan. One at a time, you know.
Hey, look,
I'm sorry.
16 months ago.
I'm gonna go ahead and add some Lowry season on that.
All right.
Because if Bryce Young doesn't do what he has to do this year,
tell it.
we ain't got to worry about trying to get a corner or a linebacker in the first round.
Season's over.
Tell it.
Canals will be getting his own quarterback. Just saying, because this is a
Canales might not be there. If Bryce doesn't play well,
you got to figure if Bryce strikes.
It's gonna be on the hot seat, bro.
You got your second year in the same offense, second year with the same coach, second year with the same GM, a 2,000-yard running back, 3 good tight ends, well, 2.5 tight ends. That's decent. You got a number one. You got 2 first-round pick wide receivers. You got 2 crafty route running wide receivers. You got everything you need. Cam never had it. So to me, I mean, I know it was on a bright chain anyway, but he's on my team, so I got to pull for him. But at the end of the day, this is the year. I love
that picture's terrible.
I know. Y'all know I'm playing. Y'all know I'm playing.
Why you gotta do me like that, boy? Put that shit down.
Y'all know I'm I mean, y'all know I'm a little bit petty.
Got my quarterback looking like Mighty Mouse.
Listen, my thing is, this is a major year for Bryce Young. And I disagree with Alex. I disagree with Alex a little bit because I believe that if we do move on from Bryce, we're going to give Dave Canales another year to pick his own quarterback.
No, Cody.
Jesus Christ, I ain't trying to do that again.
Hey, Cody, let me tell you why Alex is absolutely correct. I got your back, Alex. Let me tell you why he's absolutely correct. Because the NFL ain't fair. You know what I'm saying? Fair is where you go judge pigs. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And the way that we got Canales, the way this team is shaping up now, bruh, it's some serious ass coaches out there that are like, I could go fix that shit with way bigger names. Canales is on the hot seat, bro. Believe it or not.
I don't know if I agree with that, but I respect it.
I just put 1 point with him. We spent the fifth most amount of money this offseason, and we gave him 8 picks, and PFF graded us an A+ draft. So you give them that much talent. I agree. He's on the hot seat, but I also agree with you, Cody. Who knows what? Like everything's more nuanced than the black and white that we're painting it as. Things happen, and we can't just say that it's this or that. But I think that absolutely, if Canales goes 5 wins again. In a vacuum, that's that. I mean,
well, if I can interrupt, I think it depends on how you lose. If you lose because your defense is bad, it's not gonna be Canales that's axed, and it shouldn't be. But if you win 5 games and the evaluation is that you got plenty of weapons, but your quarterback can't get the ball down the field, you're going to say why? Is it because of the offensive tackle? Is it because the center why can't he get the ball? Can he not get the ball downfield because his arm isn't strong enough? Because he's too short? Maybe he's too scrawny? Maybe he smiles too fucking much? I mean, what's the reason?
But he should know that by now. He should know that, but he's had a whole year to evaluate that.
Yeah, so if you look at that situation, this is the most exciting fans have been over this team in decade.
Damn right.
Yeah.
So they're not going to fire Dave Canales right off the bat. They're going to say,
Let's go.
They're going to pull back. And listen, if the worst thing David Tepper could ever do is if you win 5 games and he steps into the field. The worst thing he could ever do. He can call Dan up and say, explain this to me, sir. And he says,
I think Dan will take over from there. Yeah.
Let me collect things and I'll take care and I'll look at it. And then they look at it. I think they can make fundamental changes. One of the things, if you only win 5 games, they can look and say, Dave, we love you, but we don't think we love you as a coach. We don't think you're going to fit as play coordinator and coach. So you bring in offensive coordinator.
Yeah, bro.
Somebody who actually knows how to run a defense, because I have zero faith in Evero. Okay. If you only win 5 games, chances are you've got injuries. Something's wrong.
Yeah.
You know, so if that's the case, then you have to reevaluate whether you've brought in the right people, whether you signed the right guys. You know, if you walk in, if with this room like it is, and you have 2 of your major wide receivers go out in injuries, you should say, okay, enough of this signing, used, hurt guys, drafted you guys. If XL drops a lot of passes, y'all see those going to be right. G-Baby is going to be right. They're going to be shown the door after this year, no matter how popular he is. It's going to look like an embarrassment.
Let me bring in G-Baby. Let me bring in G-Baby because G-Baby, I know we talked about this earlier. I wanted to get you in on the convo, bro. Is Jonathan Brooks done on this football team?
Cody, can I just...
Yeah, go ahead, Alex.
I just want to address one point that people made because I think it was an excellent point. Probably the best point I've heard in all podcasts that I've heard. The energy and the fans have about this team, whether it be positive or negative, is unlike any other. And we should acknowledge that because Pickle just acknowledged it. And I think that inherently we know something's different about this team. And I think that I just wanted to make that point because he just said it. I didn't mean to interrupt for anything else.
No, you're good, man. I understand. G Baby, do I have you with me? G Baby, come in and be on mute the whole time, bro.
The man said hook 'em.
I just wanted to say, because the chat was talking about safety depth. When we talk about safeties, when I'm talking about safeties personally, I'm talking about they have faith in Damani Richardson being the starting free safety in the back of the field, the cover one deep safety. They're talking about Damani Richardson being that guy. But if he gets hurt, that defense has to change because the guy that's behind him is Nick Scott. So I'm telling you, I say safety because there is not another deep field true safety on this field. It means Morig has to play in a different position and has to play different roles. It means that Nick Scott has to be on the field. It means that they have to make a different plan when they go into defensive scheming going into the next week. So when I say safety, when we were talking about where we need the most depth, I would say we need another safety.
You ain't lying. You cooking.
I want to push back on that a little bit because if you look at Ransom's snaps and where he took snaps at, he could play. He can play everywhere. He can play free safety. He can play strong safety. So you got Morig. You have.
I feel you, but that's a rookie.
Huh?
That's a rookie.
I'm not worried about it because Kansas City went to the Super Bowl. Hold on. Kansas City went to the Super Bowl and won it 2 years ago.
Yeah. I got you. Kansas City.
With 7 rookies, and they were safeties as well on corners. So it's not like if you only got one questionable safety out of 4, I'm not that worried about it. We got J.C. Horn, then Michael Jackson, then who?
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but you're talking about a UDFA as your starter and a 4th or 5th round guy was injured last year, as your 1 and 2 at free safety. So that's the reason I say that. I mean, I'm not downplaying it that we need a corner. I'm just saying.
What about
we ain't done though. We ain't done. I mean, we know they're gonna go grab one of those positions before the season starts. We got some money. We ain't done. I mean, Dan Morgan said we ain't done. They gonna grab one of those positions.
I don't think we know who's the starting safeties are. Over the cap depth chart is done by PMP founder Sherrod. It's at the bottom of our lads depth chart. You can see that it's done by him. And you could go ESPN. The ESPN's depth chart for the Panthers has the starting free safety as Nick Scott. A lot of these are just fan base depth charts. You don't necessarily know who the starting free safety is. And I brought this up. I've said it before. Oh God, I hope not. So
we can't have him out there.
Dave Canales talked heavy about special teams matter. Nick Scott, stay on your side of the rope.
How about this? I believe that that Ransom can be a really good starter on this football team. Am I too high on him? Am I too high on him for
and we need him to
that he can make a legitimate impact this season?
Hey, Cody.
Put expectation on him, bro. I want him to be a starter next year. I want him to be our foundational safety. I just don't want him to be pressured into we don't have fucking anybody, so we need you to fucking play.
I agree with you on that, bro.
I think that's why they've got some of these guys on waiting. But at the same time, Twan is right about one thing, and we all know this if we think about it, because we've.
Just one thing.
Shut up. You know what I mean. Anyway, but a lot of these vets don't want nothing to do with OTAs and minicamp. They don't want nothing to do with that shit.
Ransom played
And the one thing I can guarantee you that I do like about Ransom starting, or for that matter, DeMonte Richards, they can both tackle. And I like the fact that if you start Ransom at hypothetically free or strong, and you put Morig over, because Morig has played free safety before. They both got the talent to do both. I like the fact that a defense isn't if you're an offensive coordinator and you're studying the Panthers, you know if you run some, they're going to drop a safety in the box. But which one? Both of them can tackle really good. Both of them can stop the run really good. Both of them can play strong safety in the box if they have to, or drop back in coverage if they have to. As an offensive coordinator, you don't know which one to eyeball.
I'm gonna tell you like this though, Pickle.
That's an advantage that we have with having both these guys like that.
Pickle, I'm gonna tell you like
one
this.
One of the safeties of Falcons drafted that people wanted here. Y'all look his ass up. He can't tackle. I don't want anybody on this defense that can't tackle. I don't give a damn how much he got paid. I don't give a damn how pretty he look. I don't care. I don't even care how pretty your wife is. If you can't tackle, I don't want you on this team.
Shout out, Josh. Shout out, God.
I want to say this though. If I'm not a starter, and Pickle just said, like a lot of the veterans don't like doing all the pre-shit. If I'm not a starter and I'm a veteran, I ain't missing shit. I'm showing up to everything. I can't take no chances, bro.
I just want to say
that everything.
Go ahead,
Ransom played both safety positions at Ohio. He also played a nickel position as well. So I mean, it's not like he can't play either position. So I mean, I'm fine with him starting.
He just can't cover. We're not gonna let this. He can't cover well, bro. I mean, they ain't gonna fix that between now and the season. Will he evolve and get better over time? Yeah, that's why I agree with what G Baby said. I don't want him to be in a position where they're like, well, you got to go out there or whatever and put him in some. It's like, bro, I'm still training, I'm still developing or whatever. Look, his coverage grade is terrible. It's not going to get better in the NFL with a bunch of professionals, bro. So I would like to see him in special situations when they put him on the field. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then, I mean, you got to put them out there to swim, but I'd rather have another. I agree with Kyle. Look, get another safety too, man, so this guy can come up the right way, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. It's crazy to put him out there and when we play some good teams and they go, I'm going to pick on him all day.
Bruh, he had 632 snaps in the nickel position, 711 in the box, 1,005 as a high safety. The man plays everywhere, bro. He's
but his coverage grade is terrible though, Pop. You got to look at his cover grade.
And he's a rookie. Let him catch up to
this is a passing league.
Well,
he got burned a lot. He got burned a lot at Ohio State. The only reason why they didn't score a lot, even when he got burnt, is because it's Ohio State. They got other great players that pulled in and carried over the top when he got beat. And see, we only look when we're going to YouTube. We're going to see what
he has more snaps at high safety. You can't have that many snaps at high safety if you get beat all the time. Something's not adding up.
Well, a lot of times in his coverage grade, when they had him at nickel, the opposing offense would just put their best receiver on him, and that's no different what they were doing. Mike Jackson, best receiver on a safety, he's going to give it up. And Ohio State didn't adjust to that. They figured their pass rush would get to the quarterback before the quarterback got the ball to the receiver, and that just didn't happen. That's how come. But when he lined up as a deep safety, his cover grade was pretty good. The only thing that was bad was his coverage when he lined up at nickel against elite receivers.
I'm gonna give you a great
fact, and that would make sense though. Yeah.
Hold up. I'm gonna give you a great example. You remember when we had Reed on the team? Well, he was like one of the first guys that, when Temper got here. And Reed, who played safety for us, his brother's still in the league or whatever.
Yeah.
Remember, hey, Alex, you remember when they said Reed had the most tackles at safety in the league that year or whatever? Well, guess what? He was tackling people 30 fucking yards up the field.
Yeah.
His coverage grade is 81%. His coverage grade is 81%.
The same thing.
Wait, time out, baby.
I'm looking at it right now.
Go ahead, baby. What were you saying?
Okay.
That Eric Reed? You guys talking about Eric Reed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
He got all those tackles, but then he was getting beat all the time, bro. And then he just
Xavier-
prevented touchdowns. That's all
They
he
cut
did.
him. They cut him. He killed our dead cap. He killed our dead cap for like 2 years.
A lot of Xavier Woods' tackles last year was 10, 15 yards down the line of scrimmage. I mean, he was gone. He was already beat.
Oh,
Yeah,
don't
he's
get me
beat.
started on Xavier Woods. I hate that
The biggest headache that we've had as a team is that we spent so much money on the secondary and not enough on our front seven, and we flipped
Right.
that this year. And that's
Yep.
going to help us so much. I think they know that. I think they're still going to spend on the secondary, but spending up front is like what. That's where we've been the best Panthers teams we've ever been. And for whatever reason, freaking Fitterer and Herney decided to. We had dead cap with Reed and with Trey Boston, and we were playing Henderson, and we were paying the guy we just traded Pittsburgh. I'm sorry, Dante Jackson. We were paying all these guys. Our backup quarterback was a top 10 cap hit. It was bananas, and bringing Tillis and Morgan, flipping that is just incredible as far as a cap.
That's insane, man.
The only way. Let me say this. Let me say, I'm gonna let you go. The only way I agree with you with the Ransom thing is this, and then I'm talking to Pop now. Okay, so if we're gonna play Ransom and start him, then the only way it works out for me, truly, where we can lay back a little bit, is that our front seven is so good that it just allows some time, and then we'll put such a pass rush on that it allows those safeties to get in position, and then that way he don't have to go that hard. Like, it's like you ain't gonna be able to pick on him because that front four, that front three, or whatever we running, or whatever Evero has us doing, and hopefully he actually blitzes this year and put the pressure on. You know what I'm saying? So look, I think all those guys up front are so good
Cody,
that they can set
pull up
these
that
up.
link in private chat. Sorry, Twan. Sorry.
No, you good.
I agree.
Go ahead, Pop.
I agree, Twan, and I agree with Carolina Logic. You know what I'm saying? He watches a lot of college. Always a great person for resources when it comes to looking at talent.
Shout out to Logic
from the Black Cat. But that's what I'm dependent on. As much as we invested on this D line, just to piggyback off what my man was saying, I don't see a problem with Ransom starting. I don't. Yes, he's gonna probably need a year to develop. I do agree. But I think he has all the talent to go out there and apply and be a problem. Hard hitting. Yeah, he's going to have to adjust to the speed. But at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not that really worried about him. I'm really not, because Evero shouldn't have a problem getting to the quarterback this year with everybody. I'm not saying we got the most greatest D line ever, but I think we have a nice enough D line that these guys in the backfield should be cruising.
Oh, it's beast mode. It's beast mode.
This right here is from Summer
Ransom.
Sports.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it's from Summer Sports. And Summer Sports is the same website. The guy that we hired at Analogistics that was set in the draft room, that we seen in the draft room with him, this is his website. When they hired him, he sold it to a friend. Okay, so you're looking at the same thing, very close to what he looks at, and these percentages and these analytics. And in Ransom's case, he was better as a pure Sephiroth. What hurt him and up there in Ohio State was they tried him at corner too many times. He's just not a corner. He's not.
Look at it.
Safety.
Look at that zone percentage right there with the 81.3%.
Yeah, because he's a safety. He's not a corner.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying he's a safety.
When you lined him up at nickel, as we've already heard, he played nickel. When you lined him up at nickel, the defense of the offense just went man coverage and it burned him because he's not a corner.
That's why you can't. That's why you can't play around with guys' positions. You know, if you're gonna get a guy who excels at what he does, like that's why I hate it. We did in the past. I think we really destroyed Chen when he was with us. I think we should have just let Chen do what he did. We try to get Chen to his positions and
didn't want to convert the linebacker.
None. Yeah.
Twan he didn't want to convert to linebacker, and that was his issue. He wasn't good enough in coverage. He's a bot safety. But he can get tore up too, depending on if you go against an athletic tight end. But at the end of the day, Ransom to me, I think is our free safety. Morig is our starting box safety.
I agree.
I agree.
I do.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. That's how it's going to start. Now, at the same time, though, if training camp or preseason, he shows a little bit that he's not ready for that, and Richardson appears to be not ready for that, I don't think they'll hesitate to go get a starting safety.
They're going to
You gotta
definitely test his
remember-
ass.
Yeah, you got to remember, there's been times the Panthers, one of the best corners this team's ever got, they picked up in last cuts, in roster cuts after the preseason from the Packers, because the Packers tried to trade him. They couldn't trade him. The Panthers picked him up on waivers, and he turned out to be real good.
Who are you talking about, Pickle?
He's available now. Damn.
Troy Hill. Troy Hill. You talking about Troy Hill?
No.
The ice cream.
Henderson?
He just had a senior moment.
I did. You're right. I did. I just looked at his ass because he's available right. Just
You look at his ass?
on over the map.
Wait, hold on.
Pickle said he got the Thunderbirds.
So are y'all more concerned about safety than linebacker?
No.
Hey, pass me the ice cream,
I'm very
Pickle.
concerned about linebacker.
Yeah.
Go get you a bowl of ice cream, man. You just fucked up.
That's what I need, man.
I was looking at his ass.
Hey, for reals though, it's been real. It's been fun, but I gotta hop off, boys. Love y'all. Keep
All right,
going.
Kyle. Love you, brother. Take it easy, man.
Shout out to Kyle. We love you, bro.
What up, Kyle?
Crush tonight. Crush tonight.
Thanks, bro.
Hey, Kyle. Peace
Yeah.
and love, bro. Yeah, man. We're not gonna go. Hey, man, hey, first off, I want to thank y'all. This has been an incredible show tonight, man. The energy from everyone involved has just been awesome. The conversation has been awesome. Everything's been respectful. Good job tonight, boys. Y'all been kicking ass. I appreciate y'all, man.
Well, Cody, it's because nobody was crying about is able to get dropping balls.
Ross Douglas.
And
Ross
smashing
Douglas.
You're
What's
right.
the name of that guy?
You're right. You're right.
You
Hey,
say
man.
y'all-
Shout out, C-Dog, bro.
Pop said yelling at the top of his damn lungs for nothing.
He was in the chat earlier. He shout him out too. He was going to come
Yeah,
on
shout
and
out
drag me
C-Dog.
about my opinion on because I compared what I did earlier. I told him I led them all into believing that Jonathan Brooks was a bust, and it was a bum. And when they defended him after they got defended him, I said, all right, Vince, so you can't back up and say XL's a bum, but Brooks ain't. XL got on his field his rookie year. Brooks didn't. So anyway, but he was driving. He was on the road.
Except like no damn bum.
Hey, man, let me just say, yo, C-Dog is always, he's always shouting us out. He's always showing love. So, man, shout out to C-Dog. That's the bro. But yeah, man, like, to me, we're at a very weird point in our history where I feel like we're either going to take a giant next step forward, or we might experience even more turmoil than we have in the past couple of seasons, man. This is a big time year. So one of the questions I want to ask to y'all, and this will be my final question of the night, but my final question is, what single player on the Panthers roster has the most on the line in 2025?
Oh, you know the answer to that. Stop it, Cody.
That's a great question.
Go ahead.
I mean, you would be surprised though, Pop. There's a lot of good answers to this.
I'm gonna go ahead and get mine out the way then, so I can be
You better say
quiet.
besides him. I'm with Pop. You better say
No,
besides
no.
him.
No, it ain't no.
His name is
besides,
Bryce
because
Young.
You go as your quarterback go. I'm sorry. Now there is some situations where, okay, your quarterback can have an outstanding year, and still don't make it to the playoffs. But at least you're not saying it wasn't for him because he wasn't doing the job. And the reason why I threw that out there because I know people like to bring up the Bengals quarterback, and I know he threw for 4,000 yards and like 40 touchdowns and yada yada yada. But he's doing his one of a letter. Okay, he's been doing it ever since he got into the NFL, plus injuries. So I'm not comparing the two. That was just a scenario. Bryce Young has the hottest, his seat is hotter now than ever.
Yeah.
You've had 3 years. I know the outcomes and scenarios and all the excuses everybody gonna give, whatever. You have to come out here and do your job. He has the most eyes on him more than ever than any player on this team right now.
Yeah, and he's in a contract year too, bro. So
yeah,
if he want his money, his seat hot as a motherfucking.
I'm gonna go ahead and go next, Pop. I mean, you're not wrong, but you're right. For the sake of conversation, I'm gonna pick a different player, even though you're right. It's Bryce Young, but I think another really good honorable mention is Kema Kwanu. I feel like this is the year. This is the year where he proves that he is left tackle for the future or that he isn't. Because I feel like we still have a bunch of legitimate questions about him in pass protection. And I think that those are legitimate. And he's going to play some big-time pass rushers this year. So I think that's another really good name to say is Kema Kwanu. Let me go to Alex. Man, what player in 2025 has the most on the line?
Yeah, it's such a good question because obviously it's Bryce. And then the easy backup is saying that it's XL. Icky, they have a 5th-year option for him, which is guaranteed money. So he's going to get he kind of has a little bit of room. So let me say Brady Christensen because he's got a 1-year deal and this is a make or break for the rest of his career. Like, he's like we might want him as our future right tackle. But if he doesn't perform this year, like who else is gonna? I mean, there's not more long-term deals that are gonna exist. But I think that he could be the future right tackle on this team. So I just want to go out on a little limb of something different. I think Brady Christensen could be the one.
Dude, that's a great answer too.
I'll follow him when I say this. Bryce Young is the obvious choice, but mine might be a little bit of a shocker. We just paid a guy, J.C. Horn, man. Do it again.
Yeah.
Don't get look.
One.
I don't want to pay you and then you resort back to getting hurt. I want to see you do it again. So you got a lot to prove. You ain't got the most to prove, but I think he's got a lot to prove that look, I can stay upright, I can stay on the field, and you guys were right to pay me. So
absolutely. No, that's another great answer. And we were talking about him last week being ranked the number 25 corner according to PFF, and we're like, damn, there's 24 better corners than JC Horn.
That's bullshit.
That's kind of wild. Yeah, man, no, that's definitely some bullshit. Let me go to Panther Pickle. Panther Pickle, who has the most on the line in 25?
Well, first of all, I want to call out some folks. Earlier they were quoting PFF in the chat and comparing Jaire Alexander's PFF grade. You don't get to use PFF when it works for you with the Jaire Alexander, and then disrespect PFF when it don't work out for you with JC Horn. You can't do that. You can
as a general life rule. That's a great point. Pickle, great point.
You either love PFF and you accept it, or you also accept everything it's to do. Now, as far as my guy I'm gonna talk about, and I'm like y'all, I'm gonna leave Bryce off because that's just goes without saying. I'm going to shout out a guy y'all may not think of, Cade Mays. If Bryce fails, he'll be a backup somewhere. We know that. If Otto fails, he's a former first-round pick. He's going to get an opportunity at somewhere on the offensive line.
Yeah.
Look at the Giants' offensive lineman. He probably when we drafted Bryce, when we drafted Ikemi Kwanu, the guy that drafted right after him, I wanted the Giants are moving him to guard. So if you fail at one spot in your first round pick, you get moved us there. If Cade Mays fails at center, his career's over. He likely won't get a shot to start again for anybody else.
Well, he knows that.
And it's just fact. So it's either now is the best opportunity he has to become a starting center and get paid a good contract.
Yeah.
The contract he's got now is not even worth talking about.
True.
What?
Yeah. Let me ask my brother these skills. These out of all the players on this team, 2025, who needs a big time year the most?
So you guys all have great answers, and I agree 100% with everything y'all said. But just to bring up new conversation, I'm going to go in a similar but slightly different direction because Dave Canales is an offensive head coach. And there's nothing more important to an offense than that offensive line. I'm going to go Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton's getting paid $31 million this season, top 5 in the NFL. Taylor Moton not only needs to remain healthy, which he has in his entire career. And don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on Taylor Moton. I would put Taylor Moton in the Hall of the Ring of Honor for the Carolina Panthers already for his servitude to the Carolina Panthers. But should he have a down year, it could be really bad going forward for Taylor. They kind of drew the line in the sand with his contract, if you would. And should he have a down year, I could see a scenario where maybe they think about putting a 5th-year option on Icky, moving him to right tackle, and given the hype that we've seen in the preseason already around Brady Christensen being a tackle, maybe they put him at left tackle, which he is probably most likely to play or most apt to play considering where we drafted him. Maybe Brady Christensen moving forward is our left tackle for this team. Taylor Moton gets jettisoned if he has a bad year, and Icky, being a good run blocker, goes to right tackle. We've got to remember last year that this offensive line did fantastic. The interior is kind of worked out in a lot of ways. We did well in run blocking, but lacked that pass blocking ability that we truly needed. So if Iggy doesn't take that step that we think he's going to take, maybe he moves to right tackle, Taylor Moton moves off the team, and Brady Christensen becomes our left tackle moving forward. It could happen. I know it's far-fetched, but for the basis of conversation, Cody, maybe this is something we should bring up moving forward.
Yeah, man. Listen, Mike K put out a tweet, like I referenced earlier, saying that this team, especially through OTAs, they prefer him on the outside. They're playing him on the outside. And I mean, listen, y'all know I've been one of the loudest defenders of Brady. I felt he should have been the left tackle. Yeah, I felt that he should have been the left tackle the first year that we drafted him in 2020. But hey, man, they said that he had T-Rex arms, so they wouldn't let him. But now he's in a position where he can really show his value to the team moving forward.
No, it was poor. It was poor evaluation, Cody. And you said it before that it was poor evaluation on Brady Christensen, and moving him inside was nuts. And you showed that clip this week on Twitter about how Brady Christensen locked up Brian Burns in training camp. And it might be the wave moving forward. Twan, go ahead and get in here.
Yeah, he didn't give up any fucking sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a fuck if your arms are two inches long. Can you stop the person in front of you? He's always checked that box. Absolutely. The guy doesn't give up sacks, bro. The only thing I will push back on Diesel skills with the Taylor Moton thing a little bit is Taylor Moton's like, look, man, I don't got that many years left anyway. I've already made a ton of money. My great grandkids are gonna be rich. It's not really that whole. My seat ain't as hot as motherfuckers want to make it, because I'm gonna get my money anyway, and then worst case scenario, I get cut or have to retire, whatever. I'm rich.
No, you good. I like Timo, and I think he should go in the Ring of Honor. It was just, it's a great point of conversation of what they could do on this offensive line moving forward. We got to remember that Carolina Panthers break down this offensive line with two different coaches. One coaches the inside, the guards in the center, and a different coach coaches the tackles itself. So we may see a new dynamic on how the Panthers move forward with this offensive line.
Right.
If I may shout out Jesus' point, the Jacksonville Jaguars, when they built their coaching staff, they took one of our the guy that was doing it for us. They took him with them as their head offensive line guy, and he brought in a guy, and that's what they do down there too. So that may be a thing going forward. That may edge to the league wide using two offensive line coaches instead of one. And if I want to shout this out, the one thing I want to see this year, this training camp and preseason, I want to see Brady Christensen or Ikem Ekwonu. I want to see if they put one of them on offensive line, or I want to see if they put one of them on the right side, because that would if they do that,
it won't be Icky. It won't be Icky.
Yeah, it's too late to put Icky over there.
That would tell me a lot about their plans, or what I think their plans may be. you don't really know their plans until they probably don't. They probably got a list made in pencil somewhere, but you know,
Yeah.
who knows what they
You know
plan
what?
to do. But if Brady can prove he can play on the right side, and I really think he can. He's just never been given them that opportunity.
I don't know why.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
know why.
Hey, like I said, like D said, it's a lack of proper talent evaluation on your own team. That's all that is. Go ahead, Pop.
They also, which I thought was interesting too, they brought in 3 undrafted offensive linemen. One from Cincinnati, one from Vanderbilt, and the other one is from Oklahoma. So that's always, you know what I'm saying, we're talking about depth. I mean, hey, if any of those guys decide to be a knight in shining armor, hey, you know,
The Conjure, man.
We had a Rimmers, right? Undrafted free agent. He came out of nowhere. There was a lot of good offensive linemen that didn't
Andrew
go.
Norwell. Remember Andrew Norwell? He was undrafted.
Another one. So you can't count anybody out when it comes to, especially the big men. You can't count anybody out because big men go down.
What about Norwell? What did y'all say?
He was undrafted.
He was undrafted.
Okay. Sorry about that, Pop.
Yeah, so that was saying we got 3 of them undrafted. There might be some hidden jewels sitting here. This is like the most impressive overall build for the Carolina Panthers I've seen, I think, forever.
Right, I agree.
So, like, as far as Taylor Moton, doesn't he, besides Kuechly, would he be the only Panther that we drafted that stayed a Panther his entire career?
Well, I answered that question, Twan. He's to me, and I would love to have somebody argue against me.
That's why I don't want to see him go nowhere else.
Dan Morgan didn't play nowhere else, did he?
Yeah.
No.
Well, he signed with the Saints, but he didn't play for them. He did.
So then I would still count Dan Morgan.
How many
Taylor
years
Moton got to be in your top. You got to be in your top 5 of best offensive linemen ever.
Oh yeah, 100%. And how about this, Pop? How about this, Pop? Taylor Moton has gotten better and better the past 3 years in a row. He's gotten better and improved his game every single year.
If he goes to a Pro Bowl this year, he's not going nowhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he might be top dog. I want to see him retire a Panther, bro. Like play his whole career. You know, and that's hard. You know, I mean, even our greats. I mean, Ace Boogie played up there in New England. Steve Smith played with the Ravens. I mean, Thomas Davis went out west. Luke Kuechly
played for the Panthers.
Yeah.
I thought somebody said we brought in K. May's brother in here. I don't see him nowhere around.
I was just going to say, I think the second best tackle we've ever had in Panther history would be Moton, behind Jordan Gross, in my opinion.
Shit, I mean, that's a good conversation for one day, bro. I think maybe.
Cody, can I read like a quick like sub quote real fast? We talked about it.
Yeah, man, sure.
Late. I've been trying to find it all day, but right before the draft, we brought in a bunch of safeties, right? And basically, and I'm looking for the exact quote, but I can't find it because YouTube kind of breaks it all up in transcript and stuff like that. But basically, he says, Morgan to the media says, we're looking for a ball hawk guy on the back end. And he said the numbers aren't there, but we're actively pursuing, and we will be aggressive when the time comes. So in my opinion, they're still pursuing the back end on safety. I think it's important because we were talking about it earlier. I just couldn't think of the quote.
Yeah, man. No, that's. Dude,
I think his safety's coming in, especially he specifically said we're looking for guys that can take the ball away, a ball hawk specific kind of guy, and they're actively pursuing, and they're going to be patient because the numbers aren't there, but they'll be aggressive when the time comes.
Yeah, no, great point, man. Awesome point. Dude, y'all have made a bunch of awesome points tonight. Every single one of you, man.
Okay.
Listen.
Click on that link real quick.
Which one?
In the private link. It's through Twitter. It's just something funny to look at. I've never seen this at the training camp. I could probably post it again there if I need to.
I saw an article. Did anybody else see the article that somebody put out? It was Sports Illustrated, and they said that. What are they talking about? They said the Panthers are already predicted to cut ties with key off-season additions. Does anybody know what they're talking about?
It's a video.
I don't know.
The Miami Dolphins are like, they're claiming this is going to help them as a team later.
In a rain game. In a rain game.
So, but to answer your question, man, we can't keep our local media like together. Thinking about what the national media is saying about us, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah.
A lot of them are.
The national media ain't thinking about us.
Yeah, they're you click on them and they're like garbage. It's like to them, a top guy that we may want to move out would be David Moore, and I'm like, no, that's not really that type of guy.
All right, boys. Well,
stuff like that. It's like,
hey, man, listen. My boy Jake is falling asleep, man. So I got to be able to get out of here so my boy can get some rest, y'all.
He's at the hotel in the beach.
Yeah. My man's living that. He's living that beach bum life, and I appreciate it, bro. But hey, man, I appreciate each and every single one of y'all for being a part of this incredible show tonight. I'm gonna give y'all your final opportunities to say your final words for the free for all, and we are gonna start the weekend, boys. I appreciate y'all. My man Alex Bryant, always bringing the fire from Kitty Lit Zio. Y'all like and subscribe to him on YouTube. Alex, I hope that we were able to provide the perfect little getaway from all the ails here, brother.
Yeah, man. I everybody's different. Everybody has like different needs in their mental health. Again, I know you guys are very into your mental health, but these getaways are so important and they matter so much to me. And I always want you guys to know how much I love that you guys have this on Fridays, and I hope you never, ever, ever stop because I love just knowing that I can have a getaway whenever I need it. And I appreciate every single one of you guys because this was so much fun. And now I got to get back to the real world.
Yes, sir, Alex. Hey, we're here for you every Friday at 7 p.m., man. Happy to be at your service. That's what we do. We service Panther fans. We are for Panther fans by Panther fans. That's what we do, bro. Next up from the Black Cat Panther Podcast. Y'all check them out. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Tell them C3 sent you. Popping bullets. Talk to me, brother. Give me your final words for the free for all, bro.
Hey, man, as usual, it's been great talking to everybody, bouncing off ideas and knowledge and, our fandom with one another. Everything's slow right now. We're nipping at the bit for any type of entertainment we can get when it comes to the Carolina Panthers.
Facts.
Right now I'm just wishing that these guys go out here, be safe, come back healthy, come back determined, ready to drop their nuts on somebody, man. Because we're hearing a lot about. There's been a lot of bickering, and I really want them to tap into that energy and become the bullies this year. Like really, really feel and believe in what you're saying that y'all want to do. Act like y'all are Super Bowl champions, even though you haven't got it yet. And let's hope they keep that energy and find that motivation and keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Appreciate you, Pop. Next up from the 704 Charlotte Bound Show. This man always brings the fire. He never hasn't. He's back home safe on the East Coast. My man Twan Don. Appreciate you, brother. I'm happy that you had safe travels, you and your family. Yeah, man. Give me your final thoughts for today's Friday Free for All, brother.
Yeah, man. I represent the 704 show. But look, man, I always have a great time over here kicking it with y'all. Pickle, Diesel, Skills, my man Pop. I ain't heard from my man Pop in a minute. Even though I am just a phone call away, I need to pick up the phone, man.
I know he was on vacation.
Yeah, my man Cody, my man Cody.
Yes,
man. Look, I'm telling y'all right now, bro. Shout out to Alex. I'm gonna definitely work with that guy in the future, bro. I'm definitely gonna team up with that guy, bro. Man. Yeah, sure. Listen. I got, and for those of you guys that saw and Pickle was a part of it, I got the sophomore roundtables coming up again this year, man. Plan on doing it early August after we know what's going on or whatever. It's gonna be a whole nother staff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of great heads and talking points from different shows. I'm just glad to be home, man. Like Alex said, everybody needs a release, something you can break away from. And sometimes we don't always feel like doing shows on our own. So it's good that we have sister and brother companies that we can go rock with their show and chill with them. Or I can go to Black Cat and go wild out with them. You know what I'm saying?
The rising tide lifts all boats, man.
It was great, man. It was great. I enjoyed it. Pickle kept his shit tonight. You don't see that often. He didn't lose his shit tonight.
Yeah, he tried earlier. He tried earlier to pop off, but he did a good job. But Twan, we appreciate you, brother, as always.
Shout out to y'all's y'all chat and the C3 members. You know what I'm saying? You guys really show a lot of loyalty to this show, man, and that's great.
I love the C3 Legion, man. I love the C3 Legion. Next up, my favorite beach bum out there chilling, my bro Jay the Snake. Awesome show as always, brother. Give me your final thoughts for the free for all, man.
A great show as always. I just want to say really quick, thank y'all, everybody on this panel right now. Y'all make it easier to talk to on Friday. Free for all. Y'all make my nights better. A lot easier to talk to even when we don't agree on stuff. That we just got a connection, man. It's a flow. It's crazy to really describe. But shout out to all the C3 Legion guys. Shout out to everybody that spends their Friday with us on C3. Love every single one of y'all, and still looking forward to the season, y'all.
Keep pounding, my brother. Awesome. Next
want to say something real quick that I forgot. Also, I don't know if you know, I know Pickle do a lot of reading, but it's funny. Shout out to JC Horn and Hunter Renfro, because JC Horn was interviewed and he said, yeah, we don't like that orange team over here playing on the squad, man. So it's good to see South Carolina and Clemson getting along on the team. They got this little funny rivalry going on.
Hey, bro, low-key, for real, low-key, Clemson, South Carolina is one of the very best rivalries in all of college football, bro. There's a real hatred between them two teams, and we need that energy, bro. I love it. Panther Pickle.
Hey,
what about it?
Cody, my man's in the right corner. You say his name is AJ or CJ?
Alex.
Oh, Alex. My bad. Alex, I ain't gonna lie, man. You kind of remind me of Seth Rogen a little bit. You kind of look like a Seth Rogen there.
Seth Rogen.
He's a movie star, bro. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just gonna picture Seth Rogen again.
This is his secret hideout, y'all. He ain't really Alex.
Yeah, he kind of look like Seth Rogen.
What movie was Seth Rogen in?
Pineapple Express.
Jake, I'm sorry. I forgot about your pineapple picture. I'm sorry, man.
You talking about the dude in Superbad and all that other shit?
He said his phone died. He said,
Okay.
sorry. No, you're good, Alex. We appreciate you, bro. Hey, man, Panther Pickle on the free-for-all. Those two things are synonymous with each other at this point. Pickle, you know I appreciate you, brother. Give me your final thoughts for the free-for-all, man.
I read a little story in one of the, and I don't even know where it was. A guy at work gave me a little newspaper article, because y'all know I live in Bristol, and it was some Knoxville paper, but
Connecticut.
He gave it to me, and he said
paper.
it had a little bit. It was a paper, actually, a newspaper.
You live in Bristol, Connecticut?
No, Bristol, Tennessee.
I'm just playing, man.
Okay. Now, anyway, the article, the piece was a little interview with Cade Mays, and he said one of the things that was never reported. I shot this out to one of the beat reporters, and I never heard nothing from him, so I don't know if they'll even pay attention to it. But, and one of the Cade Mays apparently last year when they were playing really good, when they were walking back, one of the things he told Bryce, he says, you're playing good now because you got this Tennessee volunteer center in front of you. And remember, we did beat y'all. And that's a little nick. And he said Bryce took it with the grin, but I wouldn't doubt that there's no some jawing between the two like that. I like that shit. But anyway, one thing I wanted to express to everybody, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, y'all turn off the news right now. Nothing's going to happen that you can stop.
That's right.
Nothing's going to happen that's going to prevent. For your mind frame and for your mental health, turn off the news, bro. And if you're going to watch the news, do it on TV. Do not go to Facebook Reels or any others and watch them clips. Those are the worst thing you could ever do for your mental health. Okay, they'll tear you up, and 99% of them are exaggerated or fake, or been twisted into a way to satisfy whoever did it narrative.
Yeah, man.
Well, I have to.
Well, all I want to say is this,
Yeah.
because I really do have to go super soon. But all I want to say is this, man, that just pray for innocent people. If any of y'all are the praying type, pray for innocent people.
Amen.
No matter what country they live in, no matter what God they worship, pray for innocent people. That's really all you can do, man. So, and we appreciate y'all. That was a great advice, Pickle. Y'all have to protect your mental health. Because nobody else will do it for you, man. Nobody else will do it for you.
Some people can watch the news and it not bother them that much.
Yeah.
But some folks can't.
No, I hear you, man. That was a great advice, Pickle.
Do yourself a favor, don't let your kids watch the news.
I have to keep. I was just saying I have to keep an eye on it. That's why I'm home now, visiting my mom in New York, because it's a lot of wild shit going on here.
Yeah, I know it's everywhere,
and,
dude.
and then all
tomorrow's
these
about to be wild too, man.
cars and shit. So I gotta make sure my mom is okay, man. You know what I'm
make
saying?
sure y'all look out for
It's
the.
not gonna come back with me.
That's your family, man.
She ain't trying to hear it.
Yeah, man. But listen, y'all look out for your families, friends, and y'all be safe no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. If y'all have been around C3 for any length of time, you know that we leave the final message for the brand ambassador. But before we let my man D's have the microphone for the night, thank you to my man Alex with the 1999 C3 Love Bomb. Says, I appreciate y'all so much. This was the best energy I felt in a while. Let's keep up this momentum. Keep pounding. Thank you, Alex. You
Shout
are
out to Alex.
certified the man. These little skills, you know I love you, brother. You are also synonymous with the Friday free-for-all. I appreciate your presence, your effort, your energy. Man, get us out of this Friday free-for-all, bro.
Yeah, Alex was 100% right. You know, we gotta cross over. We gotta work on each other's podcasts, help each other out, lend a helping hand to fellow Panthers fans, and that's what the C3 community is all about, guys. I owe one to Pop. Pop, you need to hit me up on X and maybe shoot me a DM. Let me know when you'd like for me to pop over on the Black Cat. I've never been on Black Cat. I'd like to be. I definitely owe you one, bro. You always come over here showing love. You showed me mad love, and I'd like to return the favor and pop over on the Black Cat one night and let you guys know how much I appreciate y'all and how much your opinions matter to me in this Panthers community, man. So do that soon. I'd like to do that sooner than later for sure. You know, this community, the C3 Panthers podcast community, the longest running Panthers podcast, we've got C3 Legion spaces on Monday at 6:30. If you'd like to join and be a part of that conversation, please do pop in there. We're looking for more speakers to be a part of this Carolina Panthers conversation. I would say that this show tonight, running for almost 3.5 hours now, just shows how much dedication these fans had to this Carolina Panthers team, and along with that, the excitement that the Carolina Panthers fans have for this team moving forward. It should be a great season to watch, no doubt about it, because, you know, the offense has been loaded up. We're all looking to see what it can accomplish, and we're all looking to see what this defense is going to be moving forward for the Carolina Panthers. We had a ton of conversation around it, and an enjoyable conversation at that. And I would look no further than to the culture that Dave Canales is building for this Carolina Panthers team. First of all, look to the guy, Adam Thielen. Everyone thought his career was over. He was washed. He was no longer going to be a successful wide receiver in the NFL. But yet, Bryce Young was able to revive his career and bring him to the forefront with over 100 receptions, over 1,000 yards, reviving his career. And then ask him, did he want to come back for one more year? And Adam Thielen said yes. I believe in Bryce Young throwing me the football to that extent is what he said, not an exact quote. But the same thing goes for Adam Renfro. This is a guy that went through some tough times with his ulcerative colitis and all the things that he was bad. Punctured lung was another thing. Of all these injuries that he sustained with the Raiders, not being able to get back to his Pro Bowl form. But now he's here with the Panthers trying to prove himself once again. And with that, I would also mention Bryce Young himself. Just look to last season. Played 2 games for the Carolina Panthers. Dave Canales, what did he do? No love for Bryce. He benched him. And we didn't know if Bryce was going to be a Carolina Panther moving forward. But what did all these 3 players have in common? They kept pounding. And that's the only thing I ask for the C3 Panthers podcast and all the fans of this podcast in the chat moving forward. Just please keep pounding for this Carolina Panthers team. It's been a long drought, 7 years. But soon, very soon, I feel like we're building in the right way. We'll return to the natural order of NFC South. The Bucs may not be scared of us now, but they will be soon in the future, Cody. And I just want to remind everyone here that here at C3, you can join the Tuesday night show, be a part of the longest running Panthers podcast at 9 p.m. on Tuesdays. Call in your cat call at 252-228-5098. Be a part of the longest running show for the Carolina Panthers. Once again, you can join here on Fridays. We want to hear your opinions here, 7 p.m. Friday. Join us. Be a part of this show and the discussion for the Carolina Panthers moving forward, because here at C3, it's where the fans matter.
C3 Legion, we up. Keep